bit strange.
Yes. So the new
Yeah.
mic. Check, check. I'm Pat.
Are we going?
We are going.
Oh, we're going. All right. That's Pat. I'm Jeffrey.
Seems to be working. So you
Okay.
say it's AI powered. Like
It,
what manner of AI? Like Chinese AI? Like Blue Thinky Whale?
it's a fair question. I didn't ask it. I didn't investigate. It just said it was designed to basically filter out background noises and that kind of thing. Because I was with some things I was doing, it was saying that it was catching up a white noise in the background that I couldn't.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things.
Well, at first I thought it was my furnace, and then it was definitely my fridge, and then at one point it was because I was too close to.
And your fridge is way quieter than mine. Mine constantly rattles a little bit.
Mine will talk here in a little bit if you leave it alone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when it decides that it wants to get chatty about some shit, it'll chime in.
Got it.
Fucking thing, especially like if it decides it's time to make ice.
See, I unhooked my ice maker. So I just use the trays, man, because that dude, I cleaned that line once and it was filthy.
Okay,
I mean, all these black boogers came out of it, man.
right.
And so I was like, huh. So I cleaned it out and then I went back like 3 months later and cleaned it out again.
Yeah.
And the same black boogers were back. So I was like, "Ah, we're not gonna do that anymore."
So I take it you're not drinking water from the fridge either.
Oh no, that's the thing that got filthy. So, but that's what fed my ice
Right.
maker.
Right.
So yeah, yeah. So and I don't know. Who knows? So yeah,
All right. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I will check that um, as soon as we're done here.
Well, and my fridge would like beep at me every 6 months, say, "Hey, fucker, you need to order a new filter." So I'd order these filters that were hella expensive, for what you're getting on it,
Yeah.
and then they would only last so long. And then eventually they stopped making them, so I couldn't get them on Amazon no more. So
Well, I don't know what you're supposed to do
I
then.
don't know either.
And
So
these aren't
yeah,
the kind of filters that you can just wash out and it's good to
well,
go.
that's what I started doing at that point in
Huh?
time. So, but that wasn't the problem. So I was like, well, fuck it, I'll just clean the line. So, and that's what I started doing.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Well, the problem's not the filter; it's the water. So,
How long's it been hooked up?
mine,
Yeah.
mine had been hooked up for like 6 years at that point in time. I mean, I bought those appliances almost as soon as we moved in the house, so I've had them like 10 years now. So
All right.
it was maybe a year. That was our first major big purchase because the appliances my house came with were like OEM.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Yeah, they weren't in
All right.
like avocado, green, but
The next best thing.
they were
Well,
like
there's a
ivory.
yeah. Well, was it before the rounded iPod veneer?
It
And
was definitely before that. Things still had sharp corners.
all right.
Yeah, and they were still made out of steel.
Okay. Got it. So it
Yeah,
comes from like the Cadillac Fender school of design.
kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
my house was built in the '80s, so it was a little bit more like Honda Accord style, but yeah.
Mustang 2.
Mustang too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Original Chevy. So,
Big block.
box Chevy, not
Right.
big block. Yeah.
Right.
So we're talking Astro van style.
Well, you can kind of pick out from a lineup. You say, when do the Camaros look weird? And
Right. Yeah.
then
It's
there it
nailed it.
is.
Nailed
Yeah.
it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I just stopped using that, and like I keep a picture of filtered water in my fridge at all times.
Right.
So yeah, that's it. So
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I'd really like to get us an RO filter. You don't really need it here in Colorado, but like we have one down at work, so where the water is not so good. So and it makes a huge fucking difference. So just making coffee with that is great.
No, I understand. No,
Yeah.
no, filter on my
Oh yeah, you
sink.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's what I do now. I don't use the front unit on my fridge. Then my next fridge, I won't get one with an ice maker in it. It's the first thing that always blows up. So
Well, I don't know. I got a pretty decent deal on that one, so I'm not going to
that's
fight
good.
it.
Yeah. You got Whirlpool too. They got the same brand, man.
I don't know. It's something that I can live without. It's nice to have. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's same thing goes. I don't think I'm ever going to be one of the people that needs one of those clear displays to see what's in there. I stock it. I know what's in there. I don't need to.
I have seen those, man.
Yeah, it's cute and all, but
It's a gimmick.
well, it is gimmicky, And if it is on you that you do want something like that, I won't fight you. I'm sure there's some utility in it, but there's also this concept of like, I wonder what's in the fridge. I'll just open the door. So I don't know. That's
Hmm.
take it for what it's worth.
Yeah,
Or
it
there are some
just seems a little
people
bit much.
again, if it's cool, if you like it. But well, the other thing is they have the ones that are supposed to be like uh, they're supposed to know what you have in there and be able to tell you what you're short of. And
They don't do it automatically though. You
oh,
have to
it
load
seems
it
like
like an Instacart.
yeah,
So
it
yeah,
seems stupid.
it's crazy. Yeah. No, one of the regulars at the yacht club, she used to fix those. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, and she said, yeah, it's completely a case of you have too much money to spend.
I guess, yeah, because at that point, are you just too vain to actually write an actual shopping list?
Right, yeah. So, or just check it before it's time to go to the store. Yeah.
Right,
So, right,
right.
yeah. No. Yeah, she was the one that told me to like stay away from anything that was Japanese or Korean. So, because like it's like a car. I mean, it's got one part in it that's like $5,000, and it's the one that
Oh,
always
oh,
breaks.
right,
You know,
right, right.
so I've actually still got my old fridge in my basement. It works just fine. So I don't use it. I keep it unplugged. But I mean, like we've used it in the past when I bought too much meat, kind
Oh,
of
fair
thing, and
enough.
it's fine. So but like, yeah, that's I don't know, man. This is like overthinking it a little bit.
Maybe I don't know. It's sort of a tough thing in that regard when you say, all right, so you're the dude over at Frigidaire, and you're in R&D,
Hmm.
right? And when the boss is just kind of like talking to you guys and get you in for a round table, it's just what are we not what why have we not have a significant breakthrough in home refrigeration technology in 40 years? What could we be doing differently?
I
And then
know.
you have these guys saying, because they're technically like, well, they work. We've gotten to the point where they're more energy efficient. And then they're like, that's not good enough. That's not driving people to buy new
Right,
fridges.
exactly.
It's like, what if the screen went kind of transparent and digital?
Yeah.
I
What if it
love it.
ordered food for you? Yeah.
Right. If you tell it what to do. Right. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
It's sort of the
There's a
same.
lot of kitchen gadgets that are like that, though. I was watching this cooking show the other day, and this guy had like this automatic pepper grinder. And it was like, what was wrong with you?
So,
You
brother, you got bad wrists. I
just
mean,
push a
I get
button on
it.
the side. It goes, wee, wee, wee. Yeah.
Okay, got it, got it. No, that's fine. That's
It's
that's
like, yeah,
that's cute.
does it like plug that into a USB-C, or something?
That's a good question. So yeah, you're screwed for pepper when it's out of charge. But yeah, that's it's the same thing that they're finding that phones are running into the same thing.
They
They're like
are.
we the limitation they have right now is basically battery, right?
Yep.
And there's nothing that they can do about it at
Mm-mm.
this point because the the situation is like yes you could thin it out, but you do that at the cost of a charge time,
Hmm.
and it's hamstringing what they can do with it. So
Yeah, that one's kind of at its limit, especially now that all the batteries are internal.
yeah,
So, because I
yeah,
had a phone years ago and I had a couple spare batteries for it. I
that's
just
great.
swap them out.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, but I mean, they were cheap Chinese batteries. I just order one like every year, and then I'd always have a spare.
hmm
So, and then, I mean, so you charge one up, pop it out, charge another one up, and then there you go. You're good for like twice as long. But then I got like this brick that lasts fucking forever. So
right.
it was like, all right, well, don't worry about that anymore.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And if you do manage to crack one of these things open and take a look inside, you can see that the battery is the most significant real estate
oh yeah.
back there. And again, I get it. I understand why it is. That's why at this point it's like we can't. I remember how thick they were, and I remember how cumbersome they were.
Hmm.
Not that they were ever like, oh, I'm so burdened. It's nothing like that. They've always been a convenient size, but you can see how the technology of it has really improved. But at this point, it's really just polish.
It
There's
is just
no
polished.
there's
Yeah.
no part of me that says like I have to get a new one of these.
Mm-mm. No, but I mean, like all battery tech's kind of like that. Like even cars. Like I was reading about electric cars the other day that they're just kind of like if you're a commuter and you're in the electric car, like you want one, you've pretty much got one by now. You know,
I
so
think so. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and but like the whole thing is like Hertz. I was reading that Hertz in particular was dumping all of its Teslas. So because nobody wants to rent them.
Oh.
And the reason for that is because if you're going to go somewhere and you're going to be stuck in a fucking rental car, all right, you don't want to spend an hour and a half trying to get it out. So, you know,
Well, yeah, that's a good point
and you don't
because I
know
mean,
if you're going to a hotel that can actually accommodate that and stuff like that.
yeah,
But if
yeah,
you're going to be cruising around for a couple of days, you got to figure out what the charger is. You got to book time for that. And I mean, yeah, the superchargers, like some of them, you can get a charge in as little as like 45 minutes.
right.
So, but still, if I'm on vacay, fuck that. So,
No, if it's my car and I know where everything is, I can easily
yeah,
handle that.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
um, yeah, and in fact, I'll eventually going that route, but
Electric.
fully electric. Yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
My brother is. He loves it. So,
Oh,
but he's a commuter. So if he's going out of town, they take his wife's car. So,
oh, I'd still take it. I mean,
well, yeah, but I mean, depending on how far you're going and stuff like that, you know.
but yeah, that's something that I would check. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
I need to do
absolutely.
this here. This is like
Yeah.
not a problem. Um, yeah, eventually that's the route I'll go. And more to the point, I don't do that much driving,
No,
and it's
I mean,
just
I do, but it's all like three places. So, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not in the market. I would be in the market for a decent hybrid. So, but it'd have to be a self-charging hybrid, not a plug-in hybrid.
Right.
Yeah, like yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, that's the other part of it is this.
actually, that's not what we're going to do next. We're going to go old school next car. So,
Fair enough.
we're going to go to Meacham's and we're going to buy a car. We're going to find something that's got nothing but nothing but socket wrenches.
You serious?
Yeah, dead serious.
What was the decision making on that?
Just talking to enough guys who were like, hey, like, new modern cars, you buy one, it's like two parts go out on it. Like, I mean, I've been driving around the car that I took from my mom when we took her driver's license, and it's fine, but I've had to take it in like 4 times for electronic issues.
Have you really?
Yeah, that
Oh,
don't really fucking matter.
oh,
So, and I mean, it's just annoying because it yells at you every time you start it up and stuff like that. And so I take it in. They have to get a computer guy from the dealership to come take a look at it and stuff like that. And it's just like fuck this. And so I mean, if I can get like I still got the truck. That's going to be a forever truck. I'm going to probably put another 4 or 5 grand into that to get it all beefed up because it's got another at least 150,000 miles left in it. And
yeah, that's
so
fair enough.
yeah. And so, yeah, the next time I'm just going to go and like after I played this video game where you wrench on cars.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I was like, hey, man, there's lots of guys who do this, or they go out there and they pull out, cars that are decent in terms of frame and stuff like that. And then they rebuild them and they last just as long as they did when they were brand new. So, you know,
Well,
so
I mean, let's be realistic about it. There's no reason that shouldn't because
mhm.
it's just components. It's not.
It is just components. And now they 3D print old parts.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's like,
that's true, huh?
yeah,
Yeah,
so you don't even
yeah.
have to go crawl in the junkyard to find the right, fucking gas cap
That was the problem. Yeah, yeah.
anymore. Or there's people out there like with eBay or even Amazon. You can find guys who own junkyards who have their like entire inventory cataloged, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'll send that to you." So it's not like it used to be, where it was an absolute pain in the ass to find the right parts if you had a car that was more than 20 years old. So,
Oh, dude, do you remember when the people at the shop had to start making phone calls
oh yeah.
and
Well, there's always that guy who had a car that was half built on his front yard. It
oh
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
because he was waiting for parts, man. So.
Well, and that was yeah, you're right because those were the times where I mean, I was driving an Audi at that time,
All right.
and there was
I
a
remember
it's
your
like
Audi.
yeah, it's like yeah, we can take care of this. It's going to be like the fix will take 5 minutes, but it'll be 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Like
before we get
2 weeks
the
for
part.
what? It's
Yeah.
like then we have to. It's like
Yeah, we have to get a part from Austria.
kind of yeah. That was the tricky thing, and God help you. It's like what is this? This is a Lithuanian car. It's like oh, okay, I can work on it, but
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna have
cost,
to
man.
machine the screws myself.
Will that cost extra? Oh yeah,
Oh yes,
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 considerably.
yes,
Yes. You got to understand it's a 4 minute fix, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, our next car. We're gonna roll it back a bit. I'm not gonna buy anything that was made in the last 20 years. So
You know what? That's a choice.
it is a choice.
The only
The only person who does less driving than you, well, I think my wife is like closer to you on the spectrum in terms of driving than me. So
we from the way that you describe it, it sounds like a two-way tie, but
pretty close. She
yeah,
she she commutes 3 days a week, and that's about it. She goes to the gym once a week.
I know where that gym is.
It's not far.
See, I would
Yeah.
I would scratch that against my dog visits, but I have reduced those
Oh, okay.
at this point. So I may have the title back. Awesome as
You
that may
definitely have
be,
the title over her, but
of leaves the house the least.
she's right on your butt, dude. So,
Well, no, no, no. She's keeping me on my toes. That's the thing
right, right,
is
right.
you can't get complacent in this game. You can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
completely
This
isolation style. Yeah.
here's the thing, man. Magic is not magic without Larry Bird, and vice versa, man. So
Right.
if you're all by your lonesome, you do not get the best performance out of yourself.
Yeah.
So tell your wife thanks.
Okay.
See if she can't get. See if she can't maybe condense those trips. So take one of those gym days, but tie it in with other trips that she might take, and get those miles
So
down.
she's got herself down to like she's got 3 destinations. So
Okay.
yeah, so she's got 3 destinations because she doesn't go to the store either. So
Right.
right,
Right. That is. I want to call that cheating, but
kind of cheating.
it's no. It's fair. It's
It's my
fair.
one
It's
bougie habit. So
yeah. In the same way that yes, I also once a week will allow the tacos to come to me instead of me to them.
I have
So
started doing that since I switched over to I switched to Uber Eats.
okay.
Yeah. So I actually had to Uber around the other day.
Why
So, well, okay. So I went in to get that health scan. I thought it was over here.
the what?
I had to get a CT scan. So,
Oh, oh,
and I
oh.
thought it was over here. So I take my car over to the shop over here to get my oil changed, and I walk over there. So it's like, all right, this is going to work out great. You know, it's
Okay.
all planned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show up there, they're like, oh, you're up north. And I was like, wait, what? He like, yeah, our tech's not in today, so we moved your appointment up north. And I was like, uh,
That's some bullshit.
well, it is, but they said, well, if that's a problem, we can reschedule you. We just don't literally have a guy who could do that here today. And I was like, that sucks.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
really that's really unprofessional, man.
Well, I guess it is, but they also this is a much smaller shop than the one up north.
All right, fair
So
enough.
yeah, so
It
I was
doesn't
like,
look smaller.
it is when you go in there to their radiology thing. So it's considerably
Okay.
smaller.
So, all right.
So
So they probably have bigger departments for some things and
they definitely have a huge gerontology department. It's like half the thing.
okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
I mean, there's
All
just
right.
this constant stream of blue hairs coming in.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, they know where their bread is buttered.
They know where their
Yeah.
bread is buttered. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, they said, yeah. So if you still want to keep the appointment, you can go up north. Otherwise, we can reschedule you. And I was like, well, shit. And to be fair, they did try and call me that morning,
Oh,
but
did
I
they?
ignore all conflicts.
You do? Yep. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So I mean, it is basically SOP now.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, anyway, I had to Uber around a little bit, and I was sitting there looking at the app, and I was like, wait a minute, food is way fucking cheaper on this thing. So
Okay.
yeah, than the other one that I was using. So because I was doing it through Instacart, and they got like a 30% surcharge on the food. So
Good.
yeah, so the next day I ordered myself some tacos, and sure enough, they were about 30% cheaper. So I was like, well, idiot. I'm glad I noticed. Actually, so,
Wow.
yeah. So it made sense because they were passing it through two different apps. So,
Okay.
but they kept roping me in. I was telling you about that on the podcast a couple weeks ago. I was like, well, if you spend X amount of dollars, you get a coupon for $10 off.
Right.
So I was
Right.
like, but I don't want another burrito because then I'll eat it.
Yeah, people don't get that.
You don't understand that. So can I just pay a little bit more for this burrito?
This is again. This is so. These are the kind of things when people are asking you. It's like, why are you eating a day old? You know, a day old tuna sub. You're like, you don't
You don't
understand.
understand it.
It's
Yeah.
like you don't get it.
Yeah.
Because then there is that other component of yes, I will eat it, and yes, I can regulate myself so I don't eat everything now. But you're also eating a tuna sub the day later.
Uh, Tuna is like one of those things. It's like I have to eat it right now. Otherwise, it goes in. If I had a dog, it'd go to the dog.
I gotta say,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
that was the. I haven't. So the girl that works at the clinic, we occasionally like joke about this kind of stuff. It was like, where do you go to eat around here? She's like, I don't know. She's kind of bemoaning the lack of things to eat over there near where the clinic is, even though there's
Where is
usually
it?
stuff. It's on Nevada, which I was
Tons
like,
of shit.
that's what I thought. But
Huh.
maybe it's just one of those. If you're around there long enough,
Uh,
you've seen all the things, and I suggested that. I was like, why don't you get one of those tuna subs from Subway? And I've never seen a person make a more like disgusted face.
right. Yeah.
Evidently, that
To
is
be fair, I don't really. I'm not going to really hold that against her. So
it's food.
yeah, but if you're going to Subway, there's other things on the menu. So I don't know. Some people are really into tuna. I've never been a tuna guy, so I'll eat it if it's the only thing that's there. So, but like
Well,
I'll take the chicken salad over the tuna salad any day.
I get you, but here's the thing: is the fish fillet at McDonald's is still there, and it's not just because
Yeah,
people need something to eat on Good Friday. That's not burgers, right?
right.
It's that every now and then you're in the mood for that,
Yeah,
and you're like these whalers aren't good food. These
nope.
patties or whatever, they're not great, but I want this
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how it tastes. And there's something that
Actually, McDonald's like the fish sandwich is like the one item on there that's guaranteed to be fresh. I think
um
that's actually true. So that they actually use fresh fish.
it was frozen at some point, I can tell you that
Well, no,
much.
I get that, but it's been caught within the last like 3 days. I think I read that somewhere. So
Maybe I can't testify
yeah,
to um the full ins and outs of it, but I can say that it tastes like a fish sandwich.
it does taste like a fish sandwich.
Did you hear it?
Oh yeah, there it goes. We'll
Yeah,
see if the AI scrubs that out.
it has been
Okay,
with other things I've been doing with it. So, but
that's what mine sounds like. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it starts to growl at you after a while.
yeah.
So okay.
No, I got you, man. That's cool. I'm glad that you found that. That's a pretty significant savings, my dude.
It was. So yeah, because like we did a Costco run the other day.
Yeah.
It's expensive, dude, and we couldn't get no eggs. So lame. So
Turns out those chickens are still dead as shit.
what chickens?
The ones that were scrapped because of the flu.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder whether they like did they turn them into cat food or something? Well, no, because bird flu actually is transmissible to cats. So
I think.
and dogs.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they just went straight in the mulcher and
Turn them into pig feed.
yeah. You know the one I'm talking about.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
right. The one with the teeth.
Yeah, and it's not just chickens. Like they're throwing in chickens and like buckets and fucking
Right.
like Stretch Armstrong and all that.
Why, you know?
It's, I brought up like killing chickens to my mom, and she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, my mom was great at that." I'm like, "Your mother?" And I guess that goes back far enough where she would you butcher your own chickens, and she would just
Didn't your mom do that?
No,
Oh,
somebody
okay.
else did that.
So she had somebody. She had to hire a hitman.
She did not have to hire a hitman.
Oh,
There
okay.
was a person that wanted them.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Got it.
So yeah, so they wanted those chickens. So whatever butchery went on was not done in front of her. But yeah, I guess her mother, if you come from that era, she just yeah, like a hitman, like a fucking um, just walk up to it and just
And
snap its
just
little
snap.
neck. Yeah, yeah.
See, I think my sister-in-law for a while was butchering her own chickens because she was raising chickens. And there's a sleeve that you put them in. So,
Okay,
and it's upside down, and so it's like a
okay,
funnel, but their head comes out the bottom, and you just real quick.
okay.
So yeah,
Look, it's fine.
I'm not gonna do it. No. So I would go vegan before I had to butcher my own meat.
Well, no, I mean this is you're really stretching the conditions. If it's about me eating, yes, then I won't eat the chicken. If it's about like kill this chicken or we're gonna get your family, right?
No, we're
Okay,
fine.
I'll
Yeah,
get
I'll
it.
kill it. I'll
You
get it.
know,
Yeah.
you have to use the right motivation on me here, and yeah, my family matters enough to me that
I'd kill a chicken for my
I'd
family.
have to do
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm
It's
not
okay.
one of those fucking freaks. There are people out there who like use their teeth, but
No, man, I'm not making TikTok videos here. So, or I guess that would be on Telegram.
sure, yeah, no, so that or kick. That seems like a kick thing.
What is kick?
Kick is
Not
is
familiar.
kick is the place where basically anything goes. It is.
I thought that was Telegram.
Telegram is different. Telegram is nobody. You don't monetize Telegram.
Right. Oh, you do on Kick?
Kick is where you're familiar with nuisance streamers, right?
Sure.
Okay, that's where they go because
Oh, okay.
yeah, Twitch or YouTube, they're going to ban you post haste for
Mhm.
fucking with the Japanese or
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Pushing old ladies in the subway. Yeah. Right.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. Now, I believe Kick would stop you then if you were pushing the old ladies like onto the tracks. Like, no,
No.
that has to
So
stop right
yeah,
there. But yeah, like bothering people out in public, that kind of stuff. There is still a bastion of that, and that's Kick, and that is
I didn't know about that.
that is where the last degenerates get their money by bothering people.
Yeah. I guess it had to exist somewhere.
Yes, but there is a charm to it because they allow it. There is also the possibility that that person gets their ass kicked for it.
Is this live?
Yes.
So what happens on Kick if I pull out a gun and point it at my face?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Look,
Okay.
I've seen. So I'll say this: I have seen live streamed murders and suicides.
On Kick?
I've seen them on other places.
Oh, I've never seen one.
Now they get pulled, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's the
Okay.
thing where, uh, God, there's a couple of them that I can remember. Um, where yeah, there's a famous one where a guy just he shotguns the bottom of his chin and
Oh.
uh,
Someone did that recently. I don't know if it was on Kick or I don't know. There was a story about a guy who did that not too long ago. It might have been on Twitch, actually.
yeah, because that's where most people see it is
Yeah.
if you were there, it just happened, and then it gets reported, and then it gets pulled down.
Right.
But there's a crowd of people that are very good at archiving this stuff, and
Oh yeah, of course. They'll
so
scrape it off there as soon as they possibly can.
so if you're a
So, although I saw that, like, who was it talking about this? One of the guys that I follow was talking about this the other day. That they're actually slowly dismantling the Wayback Machine.
yes,
Yeah. So
yes,
because it just can't afford it. So it's a nonprofit. So yeah, and they get hit with lawsuits all over the place because technically everything on the internet is probably copyrighted. So
yeah, that's a good point.
it is. So if it's hosted somewhere, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that is something that still should be. I would rather donate to the Wayback Machine than Wikipedia.
I've never given Wikipedia a penny. I don't even go to
I don't know.
Wikipedia that much
Yeah,
anymore.
it's
Yeah, to tell you the truth, ChatGPT is so much better. So,
it is, and I think ChatGPT is smart enough not to source from Wikipedia.
um, yeah, if you ask it for its sources, I don't think I've seen one from Wikipedia.
I'm not quite sure. I feel like it better be.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, probably 95% of the content on Wikipedia is fine. So, but
Yes, but
don't pull up
unfortunately,
the page on Hitler. That was not good.
look, don't pull up the page on Hitler. Don't pull up the page on Trump. Don't pull up the page.
No, you can't do any.
Don't
You
pull.
can't do anything political on there. It's garbage.
It's
So, but
absolute
if I want
garbage.
to know about like, you know, I don't know, like French pastries from 17th century, that's pretty good. So,
It is if you want to know what the full original lineup of the Action Jackson action figures
you're
were
fine.
from the
Yeah,
70s,
you're fine.
it'll hook you up.
It'll hook you up. Yeah.
So that's totally okay. You're right. But anything that has sort of kind of like a political charge to it is fucking dog shit.
You can't trust it. Hmm.
Even the way it's written is incorrect.
No, no, and the way they source things and stuff like that. It's the rule used to be is like use it as a gateway, not as a destination. So, but even now, like some of the stuff that I've been doing, where I look at different things, it's like, man, these are the most cherry picked fucking sources.
100%.
So on this
Yeah.
thing, that this is just no good.
And if you go
So
into the history of it, you can tell where people have booted other sources and yeah.
if yeah, and I mean the whole thing is full of ghost links too. So it's just I mean they lead to 404 errors left and right. So it's just like, all right, fuck this. On a lot of different topics.
Yeah.
So ChatGPT is way better. So I've used Grok a little bit, but Twitter's only on my phone, so
Right.
it's kind of a pain. So
I mean, you can put it on your computer, but it's
I think that's a bridge too far for me. So, I don't need the full screen version of
I
it.
think but you you do your best work in front of the keyboard instead of with your thumbs.
Yeah, but I only doom scroll with my thumbs, so
I
I'm not.
understand.
I don't have a monetized account, so I'm not there to. You know,
I understand.
I
I
use
understand.
it for like the hot take on whatever's going on. So
Right.
not the final edit.
No, what you're doing here, and you're absolutely right to do this. Is yes, you can look at things after you can look at a post mortem of events, right? But there is something to be said about measuring your oil while the engine is still warm, and that's
Yeah.
yeah. And so sometimes you want to see what sort of idiocy people are throwing around while the event is in medias res.
Well, I don't really care about what people are saying about it. I'm more interested is like, oh shit, is that actually going on right now? And so then you can get on Twitter and you can find out pretty quick. So
See, that's the thing is the following news when people have had a chance to actually digest
mhm.
is different from the story. Like, say for example, I can give you a perfect example of this. Um, so if you recall, and I don't know how much you've been following this year, but there's the UK is known for its stabbings, right?
Yeah, I disengaged from that, but sure,
Totally fine.
let's
And
go
I'm
to
not
yeah.
saying that,
That was back burner for me. So
and that's not to say that you're interested in looking at the stabbings, but however, there were quite a few stabbings and situations that came up with a lot of migrants, right?
yeah, no, I know.
But there was one where a person was mistakenly identified as a migrant that actually was he was Kenyan, so he had the appearance of a migrant, but was not actually a migrant. He was actually the son of Kenyan parents that were in.
Okay,
Okay, now the thing
his
was,
accent didn't give him away.
people were focused on the stabbing.
Oh, okay,
So,
got it.
but that being,
So wait a minute, was he a stabber or a stabby?
he was doing the stabbing. Yes,
He was the stabber.
yes,
Got it. Okay.
he was the perpetrator, and so the difficulty here was before that information hit, it looked like another migrant stabbing. So
Oh,
people were basically making all of their statements with that in mind. However, it turned out that this was a UK resident,
oh yeah.
right?
So straighten me out on this because I kind of dropped off that. There are a couple British guys that I watch who have been insufferable the last week. So, but anyway,
Why? Because everything post.
post Friday,
Zelensky, Starmer.
Zelensky. Well, I don't even no, not even that. It's the Trump meeting in the Oval Office.
Okay.
But these are like two of them were actually pretty serious about like the stabbings there for a little bit, and they were drilling into it, and like it seems like most of your stabbers, not
Yes.
your stabbies, but your stabbers come from like just two different countries. Is that true?
Mostly, yes.
Okay, and one of them was like Pakistan,
Yep.
and the other one was Yemen.
Yeah.
And I was like, why the fuck were they letting people from Yemen?
Brother, that is the whole point. This is the
I mean,
tricky
Pakistan,
thing.
I can see because they've got a long history with India and Pakistan. So Yemen just kind of was like, really? How they make it through the desert?
That is a great question. And that is something that they are fighting with right now. Where um, so my understanding of this here is places in Germany and France are very much the same way, but it's not necessarily the same ethnicities. Well, same ethnicities, basic ethnicities, but different locations of the Middle East
I thought
filling their
France's
spaces.
problem was with guys coming over from Africa.
There's some of that,
Yeah, like
but
Morocco and stuff like that.
there's some of that,
Although
but
Morocco's not a shitty place. So,
no, no, no.
yeah.
But yeah, there is a significant problem with people from Middle Eastern countries. Um, and my understanding is that it is largely focused in the big cities. So London,
Yeah, Paris.
Paris, Berlin. Like,
I've heard that the French police don't fuck around with that stuff though. So I don't know. So I mean, French Twitter is like way down on my priority list. So of things to check up on.
as
So
it should be,
yeah, it's way
as it
down.
should be.
So, but
What I do know is that France and Germany, and okay, so I know that in Germany there was a German person on the street that really put it succinctly in a way that I finally understood what their stupid political system is like.
yeah, it's a mystery to me.
It's so there is something to be said where we constantly argue about we hear the inferiority of the United States two-party system.
Oh no, it's way superior,
Well,
vastly superior.
this is what I'm sort of finding out here is
I've been a fan for many years.
I'm feeling it that way. There's a part of me that says like we could do four, but those would be basically subdivisions of the two.
We've already
And
got four that just fly under two flags. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's kind of the idea would be to, in theory, ally yourself with different parts of the other party at certain times. But I feel like that would cause way more headaches than it would solve.
see, we got a bracket system. That's what they don't have. So,
Explain.
well, we have primaries, okay, and
Ah,
so the primary is like a bracket, okay. I mean, you have goofball A, and
yes.
fucking well. We'll take the right side. So you've got like Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world versus the Lindsey Grahams in the
Okay.
bracket every year.
Right. Right.
Okay. And depending on who's either crazy enough or in some cases, like, oh, that's been our guy for many years. He's really cool. So even though he's got weird views on X,
Right.
we can still go through the bracket, but you still play in your division. And then when it comes time to play the other team, you're in the final.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
other countries don't do that. They just let all five teams on the same pitch. So
And that's the weird thing they were talking about with Germany was they had and still do. There was a party that was basically from nothing, the AFD, which is
yeah,
basically the anti-immigration party.
it is.
Um, but the weird thing is they are not aligned with the conservative party.
Nope.
Although they agree on some things, they don't align.
They don't
So,
like each other.
well, this is the
Yeah.
weird thing was they have a lot of people where they're saying like we voted AFD because of these problems. We had gains, but they're not the majority because this party will not ally with this party. This party is allied with this party in order to keep them out. So in order for them to actually make that traction, they will have to vote more people in. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is dumb. Like
Well,
this is
but that's, I mean, so Germany's system has been like that for ages. So that's
understood.
actually how Hitler came to power. Hitler never actually achieved a voting majority. his party just beat the other two. So
Right. And now there's five, I think.
there's
Five.
like eight.
Well, five
So
big ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, even guys, they'll have parties that exist even though they don't have seats.
Yeah.
So and like the UK's got at least four. So, but they've got to the point in time where they kind of have a bracket system
They
too.
essentially have two.
Well, they have they
Yeah.
have the Scots who the SNP who are kind of spoilerish.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of
Yeah.
like having a freedom caucus.
But you still there's enough of them that you have to play to them
You
because
have
they
to
can
toss
fuck
them a
up your
boner
state.
every now and
Yeah.
then because otherwise they'll fuck up your
Yeah.
So yeah, but and like France is completely different. So France is a federalist system. They have a president. So like we
Right.
do, but they
Right.
also have a prime minister.
They do.
And so they have a little bit of both. But like it's completely different because it's not like like the English system, the British Parliament. If you flip it over, it's fucking yours.
Right.
So you
Yep.
can do whatever you want.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so, but in France, it's like, well, no, actually, the prime minister doesn't get to like bomb Nigeria. So just because he wants to.
We're not supposed to either, but we can.
I
This is
think
this is
I
weird
think that
stuff,
ship has
man.
sailed, man. I mean, I heard some people talking about that. It's like, oh, Trump's going to go back and take us back to, where we have to have congressional approval for. I was like, no, he's not. No, he's not.
Well, this
Just wait till somebody pisses him off. It'll be fine. We'll have another police action.
a pretty yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, that being said, it's not like we can. Why it is that you pin that on Trump and say like he's going to do this? I'm like, guys,
Well, they thought that he was going to make it better. You see what
basically
I'm
to
saying?
roll it
Yeah,
back,
to roll
right?
it back.
But I think the basically on that the discretion is just not to use it. But that's the whole argument here is
Yeah.
you cannot use it, but from being in that position of authority, you would never actually take it out of your pocket. Which
Well,
is
he's already done that, man. He droned a whole shitload of people in Africa like 2 weeks ago. So
he did.
yeah.
He will never look the Michael Jordan of dronings. Obama he's in the record books.
Don't threaten Trump with that record, man. He might try and break it. He's like, oh, he did what now? So he already took one look at Bill Clinton's record speech before Congress. And he was like, watch this.
Right. It's, well, I could beat this way easy. It's
Yeah.
like how? It's like I just won't look at my
It's
notes.
like, what other records do we have around here?
Yeah, I just won't look at my notes. I'm just
Ate the
gonna
most
talk.
omelets in 1 hour? Yeah, got it.
Luke said he could eat 50 boiled eggs. I can beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand, but I would argue that it's probably a good thing to rein that in. But that being said, it's so difficult to actually put things back in the can. One of the troubling things right now is and this is a good point. And again, it's just something that you have to have like discretion on before you ruin it for everybody. Is the fucking losers that are over there like vandalizing Tesla dealerships and
Yeah, there was one up in Aurora.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Or
yes.
Lakewood.
I think there was one in Loveland too.
Never mind. It was Loveland. Yeah. So it was Will's old neighborhood, and I saw that. I was like, weird.
And this is the thing.
Is that a dealership or was it a charging station? I think it was a dealership.
Well, there were both. There was a charging station that was firebombed, and then
That
there
was out in Boston or something, wasn't it?
yes, Massachusetts had two. They had
Yeah.
one at the dealership and the charging station. And this is the shit that's got to stop because this is the stuff that
Your leftist nutbags out there, man. So just taking advantage of fucking, the news cycle.
well, and that's the thing. There are still
These
places.
aren't federal employees who are pissed off and going to go torch up.
Absolutely
No,
not.
these
No,
are fucking
no.
lunatics. Your Palestine people are out there. So
They are. They're just wearing a different uniform.
Right.
They're wearing the.
they think they're clever.
I think they're clever, and it's just like, well, so you just wear your different uniform. So it's like, well, if it's a Palestine thing this week, I'll go ahead and wear my fucking, what is it, the Italian tablecloth, face rag, and go out there. And then if it's bombing a Tesla place, I'll go ahead and put on full black.
Right,
You know,
yeah, go back full deck.
yeah, it's
Go, you
like
just turn it inside out, it turns into full Antifa. Yeah.
yeah. There's a dude
So,
out there today that she's just on camera. They're like, wait, you're paid to be out here? It's like wouldn't be out here otherwise.
oh yeah,
So like I get it.
yeah.
So this paid adjutants. I mean, this is just dumb stuff. I mean the so go back to the speech. You know when they escorted Al Green's dumbass out of the
I saw a whole slew of Abe Simpson, fucking Abe Simpson memes on that this week. It was great.
yeah.
Shaking your cane
Oh yeah yeah. So I mean this
man yells at bird.
you have this section of the party where yeah we talked about a long time. It's like and they are not kicking out the fucking crazies fast enough.
I don't know if they really can. So I mean, so
Have they
that's
completely taken over the asylum?
no. I mean, the thing is like so. There's a lot of Democrats who are sitting on their hands right now because they realize that like the last campaign was an absolute shit show.
Hmm.
And then like some of these guys are guys that I pay attention to,
Yeah.
and they're just like, yeah, okay, well, the strategy now is to wait till Trump fucks something up. So,
Okay.
and then, let the lunatics out there loony away, and eventually when they keep losing enough elections, they'll get theirs. So, but I mean, they're always going to have to tolerate some. I mean, the Republicans are the same way. They got a few lunatics in their party too.
Oh, they do.
Like,
They do.
like
We have
that's
a local one.
no, actually, she's toned down quite a bit compared to some of the other ones out there.
Yes, I get it, but you're
So
still.
she had a spate of really bad press there. So I think she's learned to chill the fuck out.
Well, of course. I mean, look, you get to a point where you can't be. It's like I think the hand job in the theater was the last straw, man. There's
Vaping.
that too. Yeah, I mean, there's a part where it's like you
It's like
can't.
Candy Crush. Oh, yeah.
You can't try. You can't try to out ghetto people, man. That's just it's not.
No. Well, see, that's the thing is I don't think she was actually trying.
No, I think she just is.
Exactly. Yeah, we've talked about her a lot, but yeah, I think there's just something that's actually authentic about that.
Well, oh look, okay. So by that argument, yeah, and you're right. Okay, so we talked about basically like overrepresentation of like gays and trans in media. Like there is something to be said. Like, well, then by that extension, there should be X amount of white trash in Congress,
There is. So
and that would be
that would be
a piece of it.
yeah, that would be a piece of it. Yeah. So
I would argue that Marjorie Taylor Greene is white trash.
dude, she's the queen of the trailer park, man. So you see her wearing her hat during the speech the other day.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
so like some of the political guys that I watch, these are the guys who talk inside baseball, on
Okay,
this stuff.
yeah.
They were like, yeah, she was probably there for 14 hours. So because that's what they do, it's like if you want to get your picture with your, president shaking your hand, you don't have assigned seats during that.
Oh,
Okay.
you don't?
No, you don't. And so the thing is
Holy shit! I didn't know that. Oh,
the House actually does not have assigned seats. Okay, you sit on the left or the right. Okay, and
are you
so
with the bride or the groom?
exactly.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And so so if you want one of them aisle seats, all right, because the president's going to come down one of the two aisles, all right,
Yeah.
usually the one that's closer to his side. You've got to camp out one of them fucking seats,
That is.
and you're not allowed to.
Oh.
You're not allowed to send somebody, okay? Because the only people allowed. So Elon Musk, he wasn't on the floor. You're not allowed to be on the floor unless you're a member or the chief of staff of a member, and that's it.
Okay,
And if you're the
okay.
chief of staff of a member, you have to have business there, do your business, and leave. So it's just members only on the floor. So these guys are talking all these rules that I didn't fucking know. And so yeah. So she was in that fucking seat for like 12 hours. So because there's only like a handful of them, because it's not that long. It's not that
It's
wide.
not. No. Wow.
Yeah. And so you can see who the real sycophants are there who, like camp out those seats for hours.
Dude, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've heard tale of people, camping out a new Chick-fil-A location because
This is kind of that.
yeah, because I think it's like the first 100 people in
Right.
get free food every month.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
didn't know.
not it's not all you. It's not the buffet. It's like you get X amount of
Right,
things
right.
per
Okay.
month for like a year.
Okay, I can see that.
But that's
You get like a special coupon?
something like yeah. Is this a card? I don't know. They take a picture of your face. I have no idea because it's at that location too. But that's not just waiting in line so that
Hmm.
you can basically be in that prestige shot when the president comes by.
Yeah. And you can only do it, there's only a limited number of seats that are on that because the cabinet sits, the joint chiefs sit, and the Supreme Court sit up front. So
Right.
yeah, so
And they do have assigned seating.
they do.
Yeah.
Those
Okay.
guys do. Members do not. So it's first come, first serve, buddy. So
That's funny,
it is
actually.
kind of funny, yeah. And so that's why Elon Musk was up in the galley because he's not allowed down there. So,
I'd rather be there.
oh, I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sir, put your photo. I actually thought that was kind of endearing. It was like, yeah, we're about to take off, man. The fact that he did it was cool.
But yeah, I think there's probably a few other members of the white trash wing,
There are,
but they are represented.
yeah, they're well represented.
Yes,
So yeah,
I think they're I think they're proportionally represented. Let me put it that way.
sure, but they're just wealthier white trash than you would like normally have.
No, they
Yeah,
behave like white trash does when they win the lottery.
they totally do. Yeah,
Like if you've seen the jackets that Marjorie Taylor Greene buys, like,
they're horrifying.
well, yeah, you're like, okay, I see it. That you had to kill like 9 chinchillas for that,
Right? Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah, and that might be fake Louis Vuitton. Yeah.
oh
So
no, it is,
yeah,
it is,
yeah.
yeah. This is and it is who it is. I mean, you know who you are. Um, and again, that I can't. While I wouldn't want that as my representative, in fact, that would be kind of a problem because this is who I am, right? You are supposed to
I
be a piece
guess.
of me. Um,
I think you're allowed to oppose your own local representative. So that's
absolutely,
okay.
right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I wouldn't want that to be the person that stands in for me because I don't think my
Right.
ideals necessarily always
Yeah.
align with white trash.
Right.
I don't say they're exclusive,
Yeah.
but they don't always align. I don't know. I don't really have that strong of feelings about like garbage burning or you know
No.
or shooting within city limits.
I mean, unless it hits somebody.
Yeah,
If you hit
yeah,
somebody's dog,
yeah.
yeah, that kind of sucks. Yeah.
That's not for me.
Yeah. No, that's bad. Yeah. Maybe if your city has less than like 1,000 people in it, that's fine. So
Some do.
some do.
I've been in those cities,
Yeah, I
Patrick.
have too. So
There's something charming about it.
they usually have one good grease spot in it. Yeah.
They do, and they usually have one fast food place.
It's a Subway.
And it's not always a Subway. It's not because every now and then you're like, you guys got the Arby's out here. Every now and
That's
then
kind of
it's
weird.
like you will see it's like they have the Wendy's.
Yeah.
Actually,
Right.
I find that yes, Subway is there because they can fit that in any fucking rat's nest that they can. But
It's the
um,
cheapest franchise to own.
it is.
So
But I also see that Carl's Jr. does seem to target small places to be the lone burger place I've
I've
seen.
never noticed that, but
Yeah,
sure. I don't know if
yeah,
they're a
especially
regional
like
thing
up
because
there
back east, aren't they Hardee's still?
up north too.
Up
North
north,
Dakota,
yeah,
they were Hardee's.
they were Hardee's.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
I don't know the whole story behind. I haven't eaten at Carl's Jr. in probably 15 years, man.
Well,
So
I mean, you look good. Your skin's a good,
right,
healthy
yeah, it's
color.
not a sheen of like
Yeah,
greasy yellow.
you,
So, yeah,
like you're breathing well. So I
I'm
mean,
breathing great.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the fast food wheeze when I hear it.
Oh, it comes on fast if you eat a lot of fucking Carl's Jr. You can eat like a year worth of Taco Bell, so it's like 3 nights of Carl's Jr. Yeah.
This is not to say that Taco Bell in comparison comes across as health food, but I mean, it's just not
It doesn't
as.
stay long though, man.
No.
Carl's Jr. kind of sticks with you.
There it is. There's just something. It's not. It's not bad food per se, but it's just.
Dude, I drive past Carl's Jr. to go to just about any other burger
It's never my first
joint.
choice.
No, I
Uh,
mean I drive past that and a Sonic to get to a Burger King. So
Well, here's the thing: is Sonic. Like I wouldn't piss on it if it was on fire. I could give a fuck
yeah,
about Sonic. Sonic does. Sonic is the very definition of doing things wrong for me when it comes to. I've always
you're not
said
a
this.
drink guy.
I'm not a drink
Yeah,
guy.
okay.
When I go, it's like they call it America's Drive-In, and you go there and say like, all right, so here's a couple of things that you have to like. Your free throw percentage has to be 75%. So like your burgers have to rock. Their burgers do not rock.
The
They
burgers stink, so they're awful.
they're just there.
Yeah.
Their fries.
I see. The fries. I like. So that's one of the few places you can get tots. So I usually get
That's what
tots,
I'm talking
and
about.
it's also the only place that I can think of that you can get a corn dog. So
Exactly.
yeah, so that's what I'm going there for, and I get that and like a milkshake. So
But that's the thing is setting yourself up as basically like a 50 style like
right,
drive-in,
yeah,
and people are there for like excuse me, sir, like what gimmicky bullshit can I get off your
yeah,
menu?
yeah, exactly. What kind of Candy Crush cheesecake thing can I get?
Exactly, exactly. So you have these fucking weirdos that come in there and say like, so I'd like a purple Saurus Rex fucking shaved ice swirly
Yeah, some dino fries.
with corn, yeah, with a corn dog and tater tots. I'm
Right.
like that's the thing is you have this like Frankenstein's menu of things that are good, right?
Yeah.
But your basic things like if you go to Popeye's Chicken and Biscuits, there are two things that better be fucking good,
And they generally are. Yeah.
right? And if you don't get those things
Man,
right,
I've been on Popeyes in a long time. I remember buying that sandwich when it came out.
fine
So
sandwich.
it was a fine sandwich. I could not eat that many of those before I was like, I'm good on sandwiches for a while.
Well, to reference the fast food wheeze,
I actually think I hurt my jaw.
right?
Just go up that far. Sorry. Just
Yeah,
cut this guy in half.
and that's why I have no love for Sonic because it's just
Sonic's probably my yeah. Sonic and Carl's Jr. are definitely my least favorite ones. So I wasn't a fan of Del Taco. So I mean,
they're fine.
it's fine, but there's a Taco Bell across the fucking street. So
That's a horrible place to put up your business.
it is terrible. So um, yeah. So Taco Bell is still my go-to. So just because like I don't know, just depends, man.
Well, no. Del Taco, it's just the thing about Del Taco is it does. It's like Del Taco is just like if you went to sleep, right? You woke up and you were in that universe where like the people that had mustaches don't have them now, and the people that didn't have
They
mustaches
do.
they
Yeah.
do. And you go to it
Like,
and
what the fuck did I eat?
exactly, and you
Yeah.
go and that's what Del Taco is to Taco Bell. It's just the alternate universe Taco Bell. It's the same. It's the same kind of menu. It's the same kind of spread. And if you grew up around it, I'm sure
I'm
everything
sure it's
seems right.
fine. Yeah.
But if you grew up around Taco Bell, you go in there and say like, "Excuse me, do you have anything that's not weird?"
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
they'll say,
Yeah.
"No, we don't,
Yeah.
because we're Del
It's like,
Taco."
what's an open faced quesadilla? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, "Would you like a cheeseburger as well?" It's like, "No,
No.
no."
No.
But
So,
again, yeah, if you live there, you're like, "Okay, I got it.
yeah.
I got it." It doesn't mean it's bad, and some of their things are fine. Um, their breakfast menu is quite nice
I've
in
never
some
actually
ways.
been there for breakfast.
But
So,
here's the thing: to get there, you have to drive by other places with better breakfast. You
if you have
only
to
can
drive by
stop
the
somewhere.
if I have to drive by the Mickey D's, I'm not going to make it. So
Sorry,
yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
If I'm up before 10:30 and I'm out there doing stuff, I I've got my go-to.
I said, man, it's like an old person. It's like, well, I always stop here on Thursdays on the way back from the doctor's
Right? Yeah.
office.
I got to get stamps.
I get this, and this. I say hi to Fred.
Yeah.
It's okay. 'Cause Fred's always working
I
there on
tuck a
Thursday
newspaper
morning.
under my arm.
Uh-huh. He's doing great. He and the wife are both still doing
Yeah.
great.
They're getting a little. They're starting to slow down a little bit.
Yep.
Ugh. Yeah. I don't know, man. I've gotten a little bit pickier about like fast food since I don't eat it near as much.
Right.
I don't eat. I'll eat it
Yeah.
maybe once a week. So and that's usually a treat to myself because the family's not home. So the other days I'm cooking, man. So yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I had a talk with the doctor, and the doctor said like your levels are fine, all these levels are fine, but this level, you see this here? It's like yes. It's like that's the line for pre-diabetes,
Oh no.
right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is pre.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah. That's
So,
that's fine. Yeah.
but they say like, but you're encroaching on it. Like
Mm.
how close? Like, is it so close that they have to take out the chains and measure?
So wait a minute. Does that mean you like need more sugar or less?
Less.
Okay. So why do people who are diabetic suddenly need to eat a cookie every now and then? I don't understand.
That's different. That's
Oh.
well, they have type A and type B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
There's two different types of diabetes. Um,
I know my dad was pre-diabetic for a little bit. He beat it somehow.
well, yeah.
I don't remember how he did it.
So the thing about that
Not
is
getting cancer.
the kick the shit out of
It was
diabetes, man.
before
It's like
then. Yeah,
fucking,
so there you
like,
go.
it's like, boy, have I got the cure for you.
I'll show
Um,
you, fucker. Watch this.
it's true, yeah. Yeah, you can't repossess the van if I burn it down. Yep, that's true. Um, but so what happens there is if you get into that pre-diabetes and diabetes stage, that's when you start getting insulin resistance,
Oh, okay.
right? So they're like, all right, well, you're here if you want, because anybody that's getting close to that range, if you want to, like, I can write you a script for like Ozempic or something like that, right?
Oh, really?
Because it's a diabetes medicine.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
That's
thought
what
it
it's
was
designed
just
for.
appetite control. So,
Yeah, it's designed for people with diabetes or getting close to it. I'm like, can't I like what? I'm like, can't I be a man about it and like control my diet for a little bit and see if
yeah.
that does it? They're like, nobody ever says that. Like, I was like, I don't want you to.
I don't
I
really
don't
want
want
any more
that. It's
drugs.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to take shot. I don't want to take more shots. I'm already here,
No.
getting fucking testosterone in my ass, to take care of that. I don't want more of this.
Yeah.
But evidently, that was a strange answer.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a couple similar discussions with my doctor over
Yeah,
the years. It's like, well, we can get you a pill for this. And I was like, well, how about I just not eat that?
right.
I mean, so like there was a little time where I was like having too much like sodium.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, do you eat a lot of chips? I was like, kind of. So, like, well, we can get you that. Well, or drink this, drink more of this. And I was like, well, how about I just eat less of that? And they're like, well, yeah.
Wait.
So, but people don't usually say that. And that's when I started going down to like, I wouldn't go out for, fast food more than once a week.
All right.
So
Fair
that's when I
enough.
stopped eating
Yeah.
bar food. So, I was like, fine, I'll just make my food at home because then I know how much salt goes in it.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's not to say. I don't hate bar food.
I usually eat
But you
because
can live
I'm
without it.
hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
just learned is like, well, I'll just drink and go home and eat. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we don't live in a society where you're expected to get like pretzels or anything with your drinks. It's just
no,
that costs money.
you're not fishing the eggs out of the
God.
right.
Although I have learned that in some places, um, when you go drinking, right, they will put out snacks in front of you,
Hmm.
and they'll sell you your beer and stuff, right?
Hmm.
Whether or not you wanted them or eat them, they charge you for the snacks.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, I've never seen that. Hmm. I think the only place that I bought snacks last year with beer was at baseball games, which is mandatory.
that's
Yeah,
different.
yeah, it's totally mandatory. So,
Yeah, unless you're smuggling it in yourself, but
uh-uh.
that's different.
Oh no, man, I don't have a fresh roasting peanut maker at home. So,
No, but
right.
Patrick, you were never with the cheapskates that I used to hang out with. That
No,
was
I've known people like that though. So I've known the people who need to sneak things into the movie theater. So
yes,
yeah.
yes. And I guess my whole thing on this is I understand wanting to save some bucks. I do. I get it. I just wouldn't have it in me to face reality if I were caught.
I don't know, man. So like the last like 4 or 5 years, I've been flying Southwest Airlines almost exclusively.
Yes,
Everybody brings their own shit.
of course.
Yeah.
No.
So it's like whatever. If I went in a theater and someone ripped open a bag of Cheetos that was home brought, I wouldn't give a fuck
Well,
anymore.
well, no, 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 no. But here's the thing: is it's not illegal to bring food on an airplane.
No.
You know that
It
that's the
used to
thing.
be like a convention was like, what are you doing?
I get
So yeah.
that. Well, I mean, my dad was so he traveled so much, and he had that briefcase, and there was always, um, well, you saw it.
Yeah, I feel
It's
like an apple.
he had the shit that the fucking homeless guy throws at Michael Douglas,
Right, yeah.
yeah, the sandwich and stuff like that.
The tuna sandwich.
Yeah. But he always brought the snacks on there. But the theater is prohibited, right?
Yeah.
The baseball stadium is supposed to be prohibited.
I've never snuck anything to a baseball stadium. I've seen people do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But
We
you know
did smuggle booze into Mile High once. So
that's different
that was different. Yeah.
because I don't think they sell any of that at the stadium.
Oh, fuck yeah, they do.
Oh, like
Hard
whiskey?
liquor? Oh, hell yeah.
Where do they sell that?
All over the place. So same thing at the baseball game. Oh, yeah. So you can get hard liquor anywhere. They have full blown bars in there.
Oh, like at different places on the concourse, like in the eateries and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they don't come around and
Oh,
hawk that
that's
stuff.
what I was saying. I've never
You can
seen.
have someone get it for you, though. So.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
I've never seen a dude walk in the stands with fucking.
No. It's on the concourse. So,
Oh, okay,
but that's where
okay,
you're gonna
okay,
get all
okay.
your hot food and stuff like that. They don't hawk hot dogs out in the stands anymore.
They don't.
No, it's all snacks and beer. So, yep.
Oh, oh,
So, you got the cotton candy guy with the big stick.
okay,
Come around.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rest of them are beer and chips, peanuts, and stuff like that.
They'll sell sodas and stuff too.
Oh yeah.
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 Okay.
That's the same guy as the beer guy. Same guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. I was like, when have like I've never seen a dude with like shots. Just like,
Oh no, but you can get whatever you want at a baseball game.
okay.
So yeah.
All right. All right. I got you. But yeah, and that's the thing is, I would not feel okay getting caught smuggling food into a theater. I'd be like, I'm so embarrassed.
I could just
This is
die.
so.
Well, you wouldn't bring it in the first place anyway. So
I wouldn't.
even if you could get away with it, you wouldn't do it because
Well-
you'd be like, no, man, I get my hot tamales here.
Well, on top of that, I don't eat at the movie theater. I don't. I didn't.
I don't even get a drink.
No.
Yeah, because then I have to piss halfway through.
That
the
is
movie.
exactly it.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I still usually have to piss halfway through, and I'm through with trying to hold it in just to see. I'm like,
Right? Yeah. Can I make it through? No. So
you know what? I can tell you why. I can tell you why specifically because, look, 100 minutes was perfectly fine to tell your story.
Yeah.
It was. I am not going to sit still for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Dude, fucking movies last longer than baseball games do now.
It's ridiculous.
Man. Yeah, it's crazy. So
As I have said before, you are not respecting my time.
and that's not even just that. That's just the film. That's just a runtime.
That's the runtime.
Yeah, that's not your theater. That's not butt time.
No. You still have to sit through like 30 minutes of Martin Short's first movie, A, B, C, or D, and then you get to like, and then you hit the section.
Let's all go to the lobby.
you get 5 minutes of Nissan Altima commercials. Then you get 3 minutes of like close-ups of like Coca-Cola and like popcorn.
Right.
And then you get the Eminem saying like turn your phones off.
Right.
And then
right. I forgot it's 1996.
yeah. And then the actual previews start. Then the movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I can't. I mean, that's the thing is, I'm gonna, dude. I don't know what it is. I thought I had a good attention span. I don't. I get so goddamn lost at this point when things are going for a long time. Just like I need to move. I need to like get out of here.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like
yeah.
I wander around.
Get up. Yeah, no, I can't do that anymore,
I just
man. So
can't.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'll go to the goddamn bathroom in the middle of it. Maybe even if I don't need to go, maybe it's just like, I have to leave.
I'm good.
I,
Yeah, I gotta get up.
yes.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no, not my thing. So,
And I'm not trying to like berate the movies or the movie theaters. It's just, God, if you can get it done in 2 hours, do it, please.
oh, I'm sure the movie theaters would love to have shorter movies. So, I'm sure they'd love it.
I read something that actually they sort of lobby against it.
What, shorter movies?
Yeah.
Wonder why.
I can't remember. There was,
Well, there's got to be a reason for it. I just don't know
there
what it is.
was a reason, but I
I
cannot
know
remember.
theaters have a lot fewer seats in them than they used to. So,
Well, absolutely.
yeah. So,
It's fine. It's fine. It's
hey, man, I got my entertainment plan for the summer. So, yeah, I've been
what?
looking at baseball games. I'm going
Oh,
to at least three already. So, that's just my thing. That's the thing where you can get up and fucking walk around as much as you want. Nobody cares. Take a nap. Nobody cares.
unless the nap is because you're drunk, then they will ask you to leave.
Then they will ask you to leave if they notice.
Well, can you tell the difference between a drunk nap and a well, I would say a pass out versus a nap?
Well, yeah, that's how the guy reacts. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So the stimulus is the same. Hey, buddy, you okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I just had to close my eyes for a minute. That's a nap.
Okay.
Okay.
What about pass out?
Yeah,
All right, buddy, you gotta go.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm fine. You know, watch ball, play ball. To be fair, it's not, bro. Unless you show up at a baseball game now liquored up, it is hard to get fucked up at a baseball game.
Well,
So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, you really do have to hit it. So because the games ever since the pitch clock they move,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they
Yeah. Yeah.
move, and so like last I went to 4 or 5 last year, and I don't think a single one of them went over 2 hours, 2.5 hours tops, and that's with the singing and the fucking first pitch and
And the seventh inning bat
the
races and
bat
yeah, yeah,
races, yeah,
yeah.
that's with all the goofy baseball shit that happens. That's with the
Right.
commercial breaks, so you know they
Sounds very efficient.
they freaking move, and it's not like you're not sitting there like with the scorecard out, like waiting on a guy to pitch. All
Yes.
right, so come on, is he actually going to? Oh, I stepped off the motherfucker. You're gonna,
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you get like what, one pickoff attempt?
yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
right.
step off the plate once. So yeah, it's I mean it's way more efficient. So yeah, no, the last big all the baseball games that I went to last year, with the exception of the one at Fenway, because that one got rained out for the first I mean, so there was 2 hours of no baseball but open bar. So by
Okay.
the time baseball started, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Look, I've
But
been to,
then like
yeah.
all the other ones that I went to, it was like, usually I'd go up and I'd be like, all right, so you pace myself a little bit because I don't want to drive home fucked up. This last one, we went to one in the fall that, I mean, I think we were out of there in under 2 hours. That was like two tall boys. That's it. And I was like, wait a minute, I would drink this at dinner.
No, I get it. I get it. And I have been to events where yes, I did get trashed because yeah, we did work in the parking lot ahead of time.
Yeah, you almost have to do that
Well,
now.
you don't. I
Well,
mean,
no, if you want to get
like,
fucked up, yeah.
but
So
I feel like a baseball game you don't have to get fucked up for though.
depends on who you're with there. So if I go with my brother, we try and get fucked up because we like to heckle people. So you know,
Yeah, but can't you do that with a few beers and not like how lit do you have to get before you start heckling?
pretty, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Before it gets funny. So,
Oh, well, I can heckle sober. I mean, that's
I
the thing
can't. I can't
is
do
I mean, I'm not going to go like for the throat, so it's like heckling with the N word isn't going to happen until I'm like really trash.
that.
But
No,
I
you're
don't.
gonna get tossed out. Man. Yeah, come on. So shit, you're gonna get jumped up the aisle.
No, I'm
So,
just kidding. but yeah, that's the thing is I don't know. I guess that's a different experience, but um, I
No,
don't
and I
know.
guess it depends on the plan too. So like usually when my brother and I would go up, we'd actually take the train.
Right,
So,
right,
we could get fucked up because we'd had an hour and a half train ride.
right,
So,
right.
'cause getting
Yeah,
out of Coors with the train late at night was an adventure.
right, right, right.
So, but by the time we got back to the car, I'd be like, "Are you sober?" Yeah. So,
Are you really sober? Or you're just saying it.
no, 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 we're good.
Yeah.
So let's go. So, but then like when I'm going with my family or something like that, like last year, every time it was like 2 beers. It's like, okay, it's like, well, let's go home now. Driving home to drop the family off, go to the bar.
All right. So you have baseball is almost incidental to your baseball
Oh no,
experience,
yeah, it's a package deal.
right?
So I'm gonna drink beer. I'm gonna watch baseball. I actually started doing scorecards last year, and then the
Hmm.
other thing is I always have to get a bag of peanuts.
Okay.
So
Sure.
and
Sure.
I crush them. So and you got to kick all the things underneath the seat in front of you. So it's a package deal. So yeah.
See, that's the weird thing too. Is like so I used to go to concerts all the time, and
Yeah.
I went there with different people, and so there, so there are some people that I would go with that. Um, Speaking of package deals, it was to get in there and to be like, it wouldn't count as going to a concert unless you were fucking super high
Oh yeah.
while you were there. I'm like,
Yep.
but doesn't that? I was like, because like I've done both, right?
Mhm.
I've been there stone key sober. I've had some drinks. I've had some, and I've been high. I'm like, I don't find the experience to me that much better. In fact, I don't particularly like it, but that was the
Mm.
thing was like you're saying, it's like, you go to concert, you will do this beforehand, you will do this during,
Yeah.
right? Especially depending on the venue. I mean, if you're at Fiddler's, I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's
No,
just
you're
my
gonna get
card.
high if you go there sober.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I guess that's it. Is for some people, it's like, no, that's part of it. When I say go to a
Mhm.
concert, I mean this is
Oh no,
what's going to happen.
I've known
Yeah,
plenty of people like that. Like going to a concert is ancillary to getting absolutely stoned. So yeah,
it would be a waste of time if
exactly.
yeah.
I've known people who were that way about skiing. So the skiing is incidental.
You know
The whole
what?
idea is to go
That's a
get
good point. Yeah,
fucking high as a
there
kite.
are there are
Rip down a mountain at 60 miles an hour.
yeah.
So
Yeah, there's a
yeah, yeah,
handful
yeah.
with snowboarders that are the same way.
Right, right, yeah.
Actually, probably a better percentage of.
I don't know the culture, man. I've never been on skis in my life, and I don't plan on starting.
Well, within the skiing culture, there are some straight up pinkies out tea drinkers that are
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, and I've known people who play golf. The only reason they play golf is so they can drink beer. So, the little cart girl comes around, brings a
Yeah,
free beer. Well, not free beer, but
they pay for it.
yeah, but you get it on demand.
That is true. Yeah, yeah.
Those are the only times that I golfed well.
What, we never trashed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, you know.
It's the same thing. It's like softball. Um,
Mm.
like
That comes in two flavors.
yeah, that's the thing
Yeah.
is the only softball I played was with people who wanted to have like statistics that
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
very strict about the like
Serious.
they were always like because these were always like co-ed softball leagues, which means you would
Yeah.
have to have this many girls, which means that
Yeah.
and it was always the minimum, and it was yeah, it was dead serious.
Oh,
But
see,
there's that
yeah.
other
There's
softball
that other
league.
softball. I don't know. So actually, we got in a little debate about this in class the other day. So I got a bunch of softball players in my class and a couple baseball players, and even the baseball players was like, "Yeah, if you take softball serious, it's actually harder than baseball."
It's way harder.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I was kind of surprised. I was kind of defending. I was like, no, the batter pitcher interaction and hardball is the most difficult thing in sports. And they're like, Nah.
Well, okay, so
I mean, to be fair, these guys are on the baseball team, so I was kind of like deferring to them after a little bit. So,
well, think about it for a second. All right, so you've seen the it's basically a grapefruit
oh, I know
versus.
what a softball is. Yeah,
Well, no, I'm just talking about the size.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not.
He used to play softball. So,
Well, the thing is, it is much harder to make good contact with the softball
oh yeah,
because you're likely to hit it off center. If you hit the baseball, you're much more likely to hit it
hmm
on center and drive it where you want it to go.
yeah, but the field's a lot bigger. So,
Field's bigger, yes,
yeah,
but in terms of I would argue for solid contact over field any day of the week.
okay. Even with the aluminum bats,
The aluminum bats, I mean, ultimately they don't get that much more drive.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've used one, so I can tell you.
They don't. I mean, like if you took the best people at both levels, put wood or aluminum in their hands, they're both gonna
They'll be fine.
they're both gonna drive it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing and you the other thing is that you don't swing it the same way. You really don't, and they pitch way differently. The
It's underhand. Yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah, and depending on which league that you play in, like if you played in unlimited arc league, like fuck this, like goddamn, that's just tough to
Mm,
hit. But yeah, that's the tricky part.
mm.
So much to the point. All right, when you say difficult, here's the problem. Right, is I would get smoked 10 out of 10 times. So if somebody's throwing at me 95 miles an hour,
Oh yeah.
even if they put it right where I wanted it.
Yeah, I couldn't hit that.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd have a better chance of hitting a softball, but that's the thing is they're almost two different skill sets to the point where they really are different games.
Okay.
And in the same way, because you could then look around and say like, but don't the skills for like ice hockey and golf and stuff like that, do they transfer over? I'm like, they're all different
Not
sports for a
even.
reason,
Yeah.
you
No.
know.
No.
And it's kind of like that.
Golf is ridiculously hard. So
I'm not good at it.
I I tried it for 4 years. I suck.
You're better than I am.
No, I got worse.
Did, did you have fun?
At first, yeah, but after a while, when you see other people who've been playing with you, kind of at the same pace, start getting better, and you realize you're just not getting it,
Right.
and it's going to take a lot more effort to get better at this. So I was like, you know what, this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah, that's a weird
I'm
thing.
tired of you guys having to wait on me. So fuck this. So I'm out.
And I get it, because there does come a point where you do want to hit that next skill level, and if you want to make golf your life, that's cool. But
I stared into the abyss and I saw how deep it went. I was
yeah,
like, nah, I'm good. So yeah. So like my attention span is limited.
we just talked about this. Yes,
Yeah,
so
my
it's like
attention span is very, very limited. And quite honestly, my work actually does take quite a bit of my bandwidth. So, like if I'm gonna do something as a hobby, it's gonna be a fuck around hobby. So, not something that I have to get competitive in.
right,
So,
right.
and that's just the way that that kind of works for me. Whereas like my brother, he tripled down on it, got all the thing, did the lessons and all that stuff, and he enjoys it a lot. But his job doesn't use that much of his bandwidth.
Fair enough. All right, so this is I get it. It's the yeah, I've said it before. It's the um, park rangers want to be indoors, engineers want to be outdoors.
Very
for
much
time
so,
off.
yeah,
So I get it. I get it.
yeah.
With something that's the opposite. Yeah, I mean, anything that you're going to put your serious effort into, you will get rewards out of it that the that
Hmm.
the casual loser will not.
Correct. Yep.
But I'm also at this point, there are many things, including things that I used to enjoy, that I am totally willing to accept tourist status on. Video games, for example. I'm totally okay not exploring all the complexities of things that I'm playing because I know I'm going to be in, I'm going to be out, I'm going to buy a postcard, I'm going to say I did this, and that's that.
Yeah.
I am not going to put in the 144 hours that it takes to achieve full mastery
See, I'm the opposite now. Like, I'll play a game for 200-300 hours without thinking about it,
Depends on the game,
at the
man.
expense of like even thinking about playing different games. Because it's like, you know what? I don't want to mess with like learning a whole new fucking system. I don't, you know. And it's just like I know how this game works. All right, let me go play this one for a bit. You
Right.
know, let me do something different in this game. You know, or something like that. So yeah, my repertoire of games. Like I almost got back into trains the other day. I was like, you know what? There's a couple new ones out there, but then I was sitting there looking. I was like, no, I'm not going to do this, man. I've already done this. So
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
so why don't I go do it back in that game? If I really have an itch that needs to be scratched by trains, I got a game for that. I can go play that one again.
Right.
So I don't need
Right.
a new one. So
I gotcha. I mean,
yeah.
I guess that's the thing there is well, all right. So for you with like train games, would you look for it to do something radically different that you haven't done before, or is it like
You'd
do you
really
just want to do it better?
well, yeah. I just want to do a different one. So if I'm building a railroad or something like that, it's like all right. So last time I did it this way. All right, let me do something completely different this
Okay.
time. I don't need a whole new fucking game to do that.
Right.
If there's nothing busted with this one, fine, I'll just play this one again.
Right. Right.
So same thing. That's why I'm really still pissed off about Skylines too, because the game itself is just garbage. So so I don't know. Like when I go on spring break here, I might fire up the old one and build me a new fucking city. So just because like it's been a minute since I've done that, and I was waiting real bad for the last one to get good, and it ain't gonna happen. So so fine, fuck it. I'll go back and build a new city in the old one. Fine. So it's been a long time since I had to like lay down a subway. you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I built an airport, made that milestone.
I look. I totally see where you're coming from. I actually, um, I had a dream about it the other day
What?
about
Skylines?
firing up Skylines One.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I'll send you some pictures from from Sun City, Arizona.
I
The
get you.
new interchanges that I've invented. I don't know, man. But it was just one of those things where I was sitting there looking at because I was looking at a couple new city builders that are out there and stuff like that. You know,
Is there anything worthy of mention?
they're all themed.
That's
They've all
what I
got
was
some
seeing.
kind of weird
It was
theme to them
all
now. So
like
it's like
Tropico type stuff.
yeah, or
Right.
it's like medieval.
Yeah.
Like other manor lords, or oh, it's a completely peaceful game where you just create stuff. It's like no, I want
What do they call it?
mechanics.
They call it a cozy game.
It's a cozy
Yeah.
game, yeah. So I was like, no, 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 I don't want any of those things. There was some that were like, they had a little bit of fighting stuff in them, and I was like, nah, I don't want that. I just want to sit there and listen to the radio and lay
Right.
down asphalt.
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
so
Right.
and re-engineer traffic problems. So
Well, yeah. The nature of constantly. I don't want to say fixing my own errors
yes,
but that is what it
you
is.
make your own messes, and then you have to go clean them up. So
Right.
yes,
Right.
so yeah. So
Okay.
I might do that because I was looking at there's like I said there's a couple new train games out there. They finally murdered off Transport Fever 2, and they're gonna build a whole new one. So I was like, nah, you know what? I'll just play the old one again. So, but then I was sitting there looking at it. I was like, man, I really want to build a big city. Come on, I haven't done that in a long time.
We gotta understand the blessing of this dream I had, right, was that there are things in life that I wish I could experience for the first time again.
Yeah.
And I was having that. I was like, oh, this is great.
Oh, with
This is actually,
Skylines?
yeah,
Yeah.
this is like that moment of like pure discovery, right?
Yeah.
And I was reliving that. I was enjoying the living crap out of it. But I mean, that's the thing is you can't play act. You can't pretend. You've
Mm-mm.
been here. So you have these things in your knowledge. And there is something about the exploratory phase. Like when you and I first started poking around Minecraft and like started like
Oh, that was way fun.
figuring out how all the stuff
Mm-hmm.
works and the limitations and what could, I was like, this is really, really explorative. I was like, this is actually very interesting. And then it gets to a point where well, actually, no. It would feel like a totally different experience because I've seen people play the newest versions. Of it. It's like I don't recognize this game,
No, it's
but it
totally different.
was
Yeah.
I recognize the
I recognize textures.
yeah I
yeah,
recognize the
yeah,
aesthetic.
yeah.
That's it, and that's about it. but the things that they do in this, like, you guys are never going to make a second one of these, and you don't have to.
No, you don't have to. So, I mean, and they just keep bolting on more components to it. I mean, I've seen a couple of Minecraft clones out there that are kind of interesting. So, there's one that's like a complete survival game
Right,
where you
right.
build all kinds of
Yeah.
crazy shit. And I was thinking, oh, that might be kind of fun. But then, really when it comes down to it, man, I mean, if I wanted to play Minecraft, I'd play Minecraft. So, I mean, it's good. So, just because I know some more about it now than when that very first day, okay, fine. I'm going to wait for whatever is the next Minecraft,
Right, right,
because obviously, the thing that made Minecraft special was that I didn't know what it was.
right.
So, and of course, you got into it a little bit before I did.
Just barely.
Just barely, but
Just barely.
I mean, it had
Yeah.
hit like a lot of people
Yeah.
were like, "Holy shit, you got to check this out!" And so sometimes I wait for that. What's the next? Holy shit, you got to check this game out, kind of thing. And quite honestly, you're just not seeing it come out of the dev cycle over the last couple of years. And so,
Not.
I mean, everything is like this, but this. Okay, it's like Minecraft, but with cartoons. I mean,
Yeah, no, you're right.
it's
There's
mix and mash meat and veggie. So nobody's making anything new. So
that. That being said, I mean, everything that we were younger, so I mean, a lot.
correct.
There was a lot of that going on back then too. I mean, I can romanticize it only so far, right?
Oh,
Because
I got you.
if you take a look at it, you say like, oh well, this is look at this game. It's like, yeah, it's like it's flight simulator, but with Star Wars. Like, this is the most
It's the
revolutionary
most
thing I've seen.
revolutionary. Yeah.
Right, but I mean, it's still a this, but this. Uh, the thing is, there's been 2 3 decades of this, but this,
Oh yeah.
to the point where it's become pretty incestuous, or at least it's much harder to surprise people with. I know people have gone crazy for like Balatro, and they're
Hmm.
like, this is not a game for me. It
Yeah.
looks fun if you like this, but that's a very much this but this game
Yeah.
that's taken the world by storm. It's that formula is not with the big studios. That's part of
No.
the problem. Is
Well, and Minecraft wasn't a big studio production
oh,
either.
no, no, no,
So
no, no, but to the point where like the big games are basically this but better instead
right.
of
Yep.
this but different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of the tough part.
Yeah. I think it'll change though.
I
So
think it has to.
yeah, it
It
will.
has
I
to.
mean, like GTA 6 is going to be. It's going to be the atom bomb that destroys a
I hope
ton of
so,
that stuff.
man.
Well,
I
I mean,
hope so.
whether okay, so whichever way it goes, that genre of like massive $8 billion type dev games is
Yes.
Gunzo.
Right,
It's unsustainable. So because say like GTA comes out and it's woke as fuck and everybody hates on it and blah blah blah, but it has all this graphical revolution in it, and I've seen some supposed videos. I mean, you can't even fucking tell what's actually AI
I don't
generated or
know.
not
Yeah.
anymore. It's like actually that looks too real, but that might be actually real. I don't know.
I mean, I've seen some
So
demos on stuff where it's like I can't distinguish this from reality.
correct.
Yeah,
I've seen shooters like that.
yeah.
So it's like I can't play that game. It's going to make me barf. So I mean, yeah.
Or look, I mean that's, but this is also a demo. This is something that's like this is
Right.
this is 15 minutes long. That's
Mhm.
why you have the fidelity that you do.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's been pre-rendered.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you see this. This has been like a big hang up here is what they've been showing for statistics out of the 50 series of graphics cards.
I have been reading about that.
Fucking embarrassing.
Yeah. Exactly. What happened? So I mean, I don't know. I'm sitting there looking at my graphics card and say, well, that's not that much better than what I've got.
Well,
And mine's 3 generations old, man.
well, this is the crazy thing is so the whole dream of this is they're like, all right, so what does this push at 4K, right?
Oh,
And the
right.
thing is, the numbers aren't that much better. The things that they have there is like, yes, but the DLSS and the frame generation, the make believe frame generation in between here has improved. I'm like, but that's not what I want.
No.
This is, and so the answer to this has been like, so this is really the problem when you push it up to 4K. It's like, well, I've been playing at 1080p or
It's fine.
1440
Yeah.
when I'm feeling like really adventurous, But even still, I'm like, I'm not noticing that much of a difference. And then when they showed the numbers on this, I'm like, and how much do you want for it? I'm like, I don't know,
Oh no,
man.
no way.
And scalpels are still like tearing it up, but I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys are. I'm at least another generation from
Me too.
doing an
And
upgrade. I'm like,
the whole
oh.
thing about 4K is like my eyeballs can't even see in 4K anymore, man. So, yeah.
Well, okay,
I mean, I don't need that many particle effects. So, in order for something for me to look good. I mean, like the last couple of games that I've played, it almost had like if it had a better art style to it, it'd absolutely make up for a lot of
but
that
that's
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's absolutely true.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. So yeah, and the thing is, I'm looking at stuff like I don't see anything here that's got me like rushing to get the graphics better. I'm like this is it's kind of the same thing with phones. I'm like
Yeah.
you're at a weird kind of dead end with this where you guys gotta you guys gotta make up your mind. This chasing, yes, Oblivion people are fucking ugly. We're past that.
Yeah, we're
Fallout
past that.
New Vegas people are fucking ugly,
We're past that now
right?
too.
The Starfield people should not have been as fucking ugly, but they were fucking ugly.
Use the
Just
same engine.
you just look at it, it's like, why do you render everybody with like skin disease? It's just like, why don't you toggle that to off? Why
Off.
don't you
Yeah.
like
Blemishes off,
yeah,
please.
click
Yeah.
at the fucking normal, dude. It's just like rubber skin off, you know?
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, I want you to look like human flesh. That's the thing is I'm not seeing the point where the fidelity is just
I
that
don't
much
think that
better.
really matters. I mean, we got to get back to like decent gameplay, and I mean that's going to come from the indie scene more so than it is going to come from AAA studios anymore, as illustrated by the absolute roasting that Civ 7 has been getting. So
I haven't checked lately, but I take it that the feedback has not been.
that field already burned down, and now it's being so you know.
Is that so?
So
And
the fire department showed up and said, "Well, this one's done."
oh man,
Yeah, it was short. And for a game that had been developing for 7 fucking years, man. So,
it was
it
7 years,
was seven
Charles.
years since Civ 6. So that's crazy. And I mean, literally, if you look at it, they just changed a couple things, added a couple other things. There were a million YouTube videos that were up within 24 hours about how broke dick the game
Oh
was.
yeah, and that
So
it was less Civ than ever.
it was less so than ever. And so it just goes to show that if you're a big dog studio like that and you do a release, you are literally taking your own game's life into your hands.
Well,
Because if it ain't, I mean, if it ain't well play tested, if it ain't well, if the concept behind it is not strong enough to stand on its own, I mean, you are just asking for trouble. And I fear that's what's going to happen to GTA 6. So, in some respects, especially if it's been in development for over a decade now. I mean, I can't imagine if it's all written with 2017 politics in it. So,
well,
let alone 2022 politics.
2025 politics
Well,
too.
I don't
It's
know
like,
about 2025. I think the pendulum's actually swinging back. If I were to make a game right now, it'd be almost as irreverent as possible.
well, this is what I'm talking about here. Is I think look to me, and this is all right. I've been playing these dumb games ever since they were top down, right?
Yeah,
And there was an energy to it, and like you said, an irreverence. I would argue that a lot of people come to GTA for the stupid, right?
absolutely.
They come for the stupid, except for the moments where the game takes itself seriously, but you as the player don't,
Right.
right? You realize that there's a little bit too much of like, all right, you guys watched fucking, Goodfellas one too many times.
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to get me to take this seriously, but it's still a video game.
Still a video game.
So it's still stupid. It's still interspersed with actually like Michael's tennis lessons and doing yoga and dumb shit like this.
Oh, yeah.
Like the dumbness of the game has to be there.
Right.
And the more analogous they get to like yes, there's a cool thing about the reality of it, but there's still like there's still Lamar saying the gamer word, and that's the thing is
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you have to lean into the dumbness of it. And if the more that you try to take it serious, it's like we have a we have a story to tell.
See, and this is what I'm worried about because, like, okay, so Red Dead has always been the adult
There you go.
series.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And so when Red Dead 2 folded, they took all them guys and rolled them over to GTA 6. It was literally all hands on deck. There is not even a hint of a rumor of another Red Dead in the pipeline. Okay, so those dudes, they didn't just walk off set.
Where
So
would you go from there, though? Didn't
you go to GTA 6.
but what I mean
So
in the Red Dead universe, I mean, is there
there's so
anything?
much speculation. Oh, so take it back 40 years.
Oh,
Fast forward into Prohibition. There's all kinds. Yeah,
whoa!
dude, there's all kinds of
Now
speculation.
that's a game right there.
Maybe. I mean, I
But that would be a different
that
game,
would be a
wouldn't it?
different
So, yeah,
game. Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, that'd be close to L.A. Noir.
I'm gonna
So
say like
yeah,
the old west is sort of like
it's
that's
kind
a
of what makes
character in
Red
and of
Dead.
itself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, they use the same goddamn map between 1 and 2. They just
There you
made
go.
number 2
Yeah,
way bigger.
yeah.
So yeah, and so that's probably we'll put a pin in this one, but I mean that's my prediction for GTA is that it's going to be a little bit of everything and not good at any of them. So so you can have serious story moments that are about like growing up poor and being a prostitute. Interspersed with fucking rednecks, on fan boats, so
Right, right,
and so it's just not going to
right.
work because GTA 5 at least had a theme. They would explore different things through different characters, which was kind of neat. Okay. But I mean, all the Rockstar games are on rails anyway. I mean, this is not like Cyberpunk,
Okay, okay,
so
okay, okay. Hold on, hold on. All right. The Rockstar core. There's a story to it. All right, and
yeah,
that is 100% on rails. The fucking
there's always a story. Yeah,
the boat chase and all that other stuff. That's
there's
100% on rails,
100%.
right? I get it, but the universe is derailed
And that's
completely.
what makes the games.
Right,
So,
right.
my guess is that they're going to fuck that up.
Flipping over and seeing where Trevor was part of the fun.
Right.
It's like,
Yes.
what
What
are
are
you
you
doing?
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get up here? And why are you naked?
What are you fighting with this yokel for? Yeah, I know. It's
Why'd you machine gun this entire town?
great question.
Yeah.
All right.
Great question.
And to be fair, like, it's not like these guys were grounded in reality. They were grounded in the reality of their universe,
Right.
which is still a slightly different, altered version of our universe, which is why it's called Liberty City
Right.
and not New Jersey, which
And
is why
San
it's Los
Andreas was,
Santos
yeah.
instead of Los
And it's a
Angeles.
fucking island.
Yeah,
It prevents you from driving to Iowa.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. This is just like we got to stipulate. This is not
Right.
the reality, right?
Right. It's a reality.
But
Yeah.
I will tell you, this roller coaster on the pier is exactly
Exactly
like the
like
roller
what
coaster.
yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay,
It's the
okay,
FIB, So,
correct.
yeah.
And there's something to be said about like, well, how does one attain a car in this universe? With your elbow, right?
Your elbow. Yeah.
But I don't know about you guys. I don't know if any of you have ever thumped a glass with your elbow. It's gonna break your
It's gonna
elbow
break your elbow.
way
Yeah.
before, right? They make tools for this. It's okay, but you have to. That's part of the game.
Right.
And I feel like if they get to the point where it's like purchase a window breaker, purchase. I mean, like
Right. Yeah.
the little phone system in that game was just dumb enough,
Just dumb enough.
just separated enough from reality to make it okay. Just separated enough to where you could also do group calls or speakerphone calls
Yeah.
within the game, especially like in the multiplayer element where you could have that like three-way conversation,
Yeah.
that kind of dumb stuff, but still not quite.
Not that dumb. Yeah.
But the physics is still a little bit wonky, and it
Yeah.
has to be to separate yourself from reality,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
if they get, they just have to remember to have fun with it. Like, and all the problem is all the trailers I see of it look like this is serious. This is like this is our time to like we're gonna make a difference.
See,
Like,
I'm
it's
getting
like,
that vibe too, man.
it's like,
I'm
I
not,
don't
I'm
like
not too
that.
happy about that. Yeah. It's kind of like, wait a minute, where's the goofy part where we can steal an ice cream truck? You know,
Right.
So
Right.
yeah. What about the part where like every construction worker beats my ass? Yeah.
And it's real because
Right.
all you have to do is just hang around their conversation where you don't belong.
And they will kick your
And
ass.
that's real life. Like
Yeah.
that's not for you.
No.
You wouldn't go into it and say like, all right, here, watch this. Like, let me go talk to these guys. You wouldn't go to construction workers and say like, hey, great job out there today, guys, and
No.
just start hanging out. And they would eventually.
Beat your ass. Yeah.
I get it. Like that's the game.
See, and that's the thing about Red Dead is Red Dead didn't have any two moments like that because you're only following one dude the entire
That's
time.
true.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Red Dead 2 was
Well, you
ridiculously
played as Ricketts.
serious
Hold on, you did play as Ricketts for,
briefly. So
but that was just
it was
like
a
an
flashback.
interlude. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
yeah, yeah.
flashback. In Red Dead 2, you played as Arthur until he died, and then you played as John. And that's when you had the goofy stuff in the game because you built a house and like herded cattle and stuff like that. They put all that at the end of Red Dead 2, not
Right,
at the beginning.
right,
So
right.
yeah, there's like only a couple points in Red Dead 2 where it's goofy as fuck. So and it's just because you get into some shit that you shouldn't be involved in. So but
Does it make sense in the
it
universe, or
does.
is it, or does it feel
They
like
do.
separate? Where it's like,
No, it
all right,
does. Yeah, it does. But unlike yeah, but it's very much like Red Dead 1. It's a serious game. I mean, like everybody remembers taking vengeance on, the Marshall guys.
yes,
So, because the
yes,
game did that to specifically piss you off.
yes,
I mean, you couldn't get out of the mission either. Otherwise, the guy shot you. So,
right,
right.
right.
You couldn't just say, like, you know what? I'm going to break this cycle of violence.
This
I'm
is
going to
not the
break
game
the
for that,
wheel.
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not that game. So, no, we don't let you. So, I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm a little bit more optimistic for The Witcher. So, but I haven't seen anything on that since the trailer. So,
And I don't think you will. I think they're going to keep that
probably
under
not.
wraps for a while. But yeah, you're right. There is sort of a specter hanging over you in Red Dead One,
There is.
which I have to give Star Wars a little bit of credit in one of their games in the Jedi Outcast and the Jedi Survivor game,
Okay.
because I can't remember which game it is. When you get to the end, uh, Darth Vader appears.
Uh huh.
Right now, the thing is, and this is the cool thing about it is Darth Vader doesn't have a life bar.
Uh oh.
This is the thing is it respects it in the sense that yeah, you can swing at him a couple of times, but he's going to beat you. And that's the thing is the first thing he
Yeah.
does is when your partner tries to charge him, he just yeets her over his shoulder. And it's funny, and he's just like he just says you'd be wise to surrender, and even your guy says, yeah, probably. And the whole thing is you escape from him.
Right.
You do not beat him.
Right.
That is sort of like that shadow of like you can't win
Right.
this.
Yeah.
And there's always this
Just accept it. Yeah.
in Red Dead. There's this shadow looming over you of like, when am I going to get mine?
Oh yeah, especially after you go around and do all these like, oh, let's go back to the farm and thank the lady and buy some cows from her.
Right,
You know,
right, right. Hold F
let's go
to
fishing with my boy.
yeah, exactly.
So,
It's like which button do I press to say my cryptic goodbyes?
right. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where it's just like if I never see you again, I want you to know, right?
Right. Yeah.
There is that section. You remember that. And then it happens, and you just have
Quite
to accept
suddenly.
it.
Yes.
And there's
So
like 30 guys around you, even though you did. God, that section was so good the first time I played it.
totally good.
Again,
Yeah.
I'd love to play that for the first
Yeah.
time again.
Oh well, and see that's the thing about games like story-based games like that is those are the ones that like it's got to be something that I get a lot more out of than what the game gets you for me to play it more than once.
Right.
So, and the list of games that got me to play all the way through more than once and fall in the genre is very small. So
I
it's The
agree.
Witcher. I have done it in Cyberpunk, but that's because Cyberpunk you can play it five different ways. So
And it's like five different
it's like
experiences.
completely five
It's
different games. So, and then I think I played Red Dead 1 twice. So, because it's actually not that long of a game. So,
Well, you were going for the 100%.
I was going for the 100%.
So that's
So,
different.
that was different.
Yeah. Um, well, and this is the weird thing about Red Dead. All right, Red Dead does have moments in the story where you're like, well, this was cool to play,
It was
right?
cool.
This was cool to play. But I feel like most of the stories were out of Red Dead were, so there I was,
Minding my own business.
minding my own business, and I'm doing this, and like from a little rain cloud, a cougar.
Right. Yeah.
And
So there I was in Mexico, minding my own business when a revolution broke out.
right. And then he's like, "Did the cougar just kill you?" It's like, "No, he didn't just kill me. He threw me over this big cliff." And I think he said something when he did it.
Yeah.
Or it's the same thing. It's like my thing was you remember those legendary animals, right?
Oh yeah.
And they would keep spawning animals like little ones.
Mhm.
And I had killed like 45 bears. They're just stacked everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And then the train comes by and obliterates this mountain of dead bears. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is
Why did it come to this?
because if I recall, you had to just keep killing them until the big one would come out,
Mhm.
but it wouldn't spawn the big one. So
Yeah.
there's a mountain of bear
Yeah.
corpses around me. Yeah, and then just
Yeah.
they all
Gross.
explode. Or like doing the dumb
The
shit where you're like
buffalo.
the
You
buffalo,
shoot all the buffalo.
and
Get the
it
manifest
rewards
destiny.
you. Yes, or do the same thing where you're like, what have you been doing? It's like, well, I catch bounties, and I'm okay not getting the full money because I tie all of them to the tracks.
Right. Yeah.
Like all of them, it's like that's just how I do things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have an alter ego when I put on that bandana.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just like,
This is the official Batman business. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's right. You could do that in that game. So.
that's where I feel like the story, the game thing. That's sort of the same thing with uh, GTA is like, yes, you're doing this, but also the funny parts are like shooting rockets at Michael's house, and he tells you to stop.
Right, yeah, ripping that dude's house down from the cliff. Yeah,
Right.
it's like this is not going to work out, but I love this scene.
Yeah, I know. I want it to be goofy, but I feel like
I hope it's goofy because the last few games have been way too serious. So, no, Cyberpunk's a serious game. So,
for
I mean,
for the most part,
for the
yeah.
most part, okay, so you can do things in an unserious way. Okay, but the whole thing where like I'm dying, but I'm becoming more powerful as I die,
The,
kind of thing.
the tone is serious.
The tone is serious, yeah. So, and I guess the same thing is true with Witcher. I actually did get through a whole chunk of that Blood and Wine and Nice France. I can't beat the last guy, so
Oh, well, you're there.
I'm there. I can't fucking beat him. I'm not smart enough. So,
Well,
I've got
I did it wrong.
I've
So
got it saved where I can actually tell him. He's like, no, that's fine. Just keep eating people.
so you did beat it.
I did. That's the answer.
There's not
It's like
one
we can come to an
solution.
agreement. Yeah. So, but if I choose, like, no, I must put a stop to this. He kills me.
We can have big peace with it. It's like, hey, man, this is the world I live in, and there are things that are bigger than I am.
There are things that are bigger than me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is it does it just like in real life? Okay, you can be the world's richest, most powerful man,
Sure.
right? But at the same time, some dude named Luigi in New York just might fucking gat you
He
out
just
of
might catch you
nowhere,
out of nowhere.
and you're done.
So, like, the guys that I follow, my resident conspiracy theorist, Walter Kern, has has this entire Luigi like fucking novel kind of sketched out. So about not like actually like he's writing it,
Right,
but he's like this guy's a plant. It's all part of this. It's all part of this. We have not heard the end of this. Okay,
so the board has tax and
it has
string in it.
tax and red twine all over it, man. So it all has to do with like, the fucking the latest like iteration of Antifa anti-hero bullshit, And the only thing that went wrong was Donald Trump actually won the election. And so if Joe Biden had won the election, this would be front page fucking news. So, but instead we got this psychopath who keeps taking up all the headlines, and things like that. And so Luigi's going to go to jail. Nobody's going to give a fuck. But it had this entire, like, all like leftist, Bernie Sanders, kind of like got screwed narrative. It's really the rich who are actually doing it. And now it's just like, yeah, I mean, Donald Trump's moving so fast that nobody can watch him, or nobody can take their eyes off of him, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah.
And so this whole Luigi thing is just gonna like melt away.
That would.
But Walter is convinced that this was it was completely an op, and this guy is like, completely volunteered into this. So almost got me to resubscribe to him.
Listen, there's so obviously, look, don't get me wrong, the bullshit detector's going off pretty hard, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to know. There's something that's like,
oh no, the bullshit
what makes
detector
you
is
think
busted,
this?
man. It's
Right.
redlined, but still at the same point in time, it's hilarious.
You're right. No,
You know,
it's true. Yeah, it's you can't actually find anything radioactive because this whole place has been nuked. It's like our Geiger counters for
right?
months
Yeah,
have
yeah,
just
yeah,
been.
yeah. Yeah. It's like it's as bad as it's ever been. It's like, why is that? It's because it's pegged.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute. So we don't actually know how much bullshit is out there? It's pegged.
You can't. Yep.
Could be infinite. So, but anyway, it's hilarious, and I keep watching him agitate with this stuff, man. But I mean, he might be onto something. You never know. So.
Hey, dude, it's the same. I saw there are guys out there that are to this day absolutely convinced that the timeline that we're in, uh, Trump presidency, once and two, all stems from Gamergate,
Oh, that's crazy.
and it's just as many
Yeah.
twines and pegboards like this happens this way, this happens, and I'm like, look, I'm okay with you believing that, but are you
Yeah.
mad about it? It's like I'm
Yeah.
very mad about it. Like,
Why would you be mad
okay,
about it?
then
Yeah.
then okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah. No, don't worry about it.
I get it. Then if you think this, then I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. I have to preface this in my discussions with you because I know what you're thinking.
right, yeah.
Yes.
So I know where you're here. So and it's not for the free cookies. So,
Well, you know what I've talked about it. We'll finish up with this, but it's the same thing. It's like as soon as somebody expresses a certain viewpoint or a certain, like we've talked about danger words, like military industrial complex,
that's a major word. Yeah.
right?
Reckoning.
Or reckoning, uh, uh, walkable cities.
Yeah. Late stage capitalism.
But yes,
Yeah.
yes, okay. So in the same way, yeah, that's that. Like if Gamergate comes up, it's like okay, you're
Yeah.
in that. Okay,
Yeah,
got it, no problem, man. So I know where you stand.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those, man, that you gotta really watch out for. The funny thing is like ever
Media
since
literacy.
media literacy is a big one, yeah. So like yeah, disinformation campaign. So there's a ton of them out there, man. The funny thing is like ever since that Oval Office meeting with Zelensky, there's been a serious crack that has exposed a lot of like dudes who are just like they they don't know what to think now. So,
Oh,
and I mean, I watch a lot more of the geopolitical stuff. And so there's a bunch of people that I'm pretty sure they're going to secede to Europe pretty soon. Just like, you know what, fuck America, I'm moving to Amsterdam kind of thing. So, kind of thing, because like they didn't think he'd actually do it. So, but if you think about it, like everything that he's done is something that he said he was going to do. So,
Donald Trump.
yeah, Donald Trump.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, clearly, and it's one of those things where it's like, well, okay, why don't you think about this a little bit rationally? Let's see. I mean, this might be a great new direction in some respects. It might work out horribly. We have no idea. Well, the question is like, did you want something different or not? So, and a lot of you said that you did, but now that you're getting it, it's not the kind of different that I wanted. So, like, I've seen this on both the left and the right. So, there's some right guys, very pro-Ukraine, fuck Russia kind of guys, out there. They're still out there. These are guys going to be moving to France in the next couple of years. So, but then there's also lefties out there. Like I watch a couple foreign policy lefties who've been like, America bad, camp for a long time. And I was like, well, you're getting everything that you asked for. A disengagement from the world stage, a dismantling of whatever it is that we want to call American empire, but you're still mad because he's doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And it was like, well, wait a minute, we should have a discussion about this. Okay, all right, got it.
Well, and that's look. This is
some of the few swipes that I've taken at people that I know on Twitter.
Listen, okay, so I don't know who said this. I saw it out there, but it's to me it rings sort of true. Is basically like if you look at our last strings of people, they are just whatever the party was 15 years ago. Like Trump was a Democrat 15 years ago, would be what a Democrat was 15 years ago. Biden was what a Republican, and et cetera. They just kind of walk it back. Yeah. Like, well, I mean, you're not wrong.
Not wrong.
And to the point of this here, where you're saying, like, I can absolutely see people who don't want the Ukraine war to end because Trump does it. They want it to end.
There's definitely people out in that camp. Yep.
Which, if you think about it in any kind of logical extreme, you're like, this is dumb. You're dumb.
Yeah.
Take that back. Apologize.
No, you're not going to get an apology.
Right? Yeah, this is the thing I was talking about is if you get, again, it's that whole thing where, like, if you have a person that is, like, you have a child, man. You have a child, and you have this child that is, like, they're complaining, and they're crying, and you finally get it. You break down, and you eventually get them everything that they want, and you say, "Are you happy?"
No.
They always say no.
No, I didn't get it fast enough. I didn't get the way that I wanted. So you didn't smile when you gave it to me. No, there's a lot of that going on, man. So, I mean, obviously, there are a lot of pitfalls, right around the corner. But, at least he's making steps in some of those directions, and stuff like that. I personally don't think the war in Ukraine is going to end anytime soon. So we'll see. I don't think Putin's actually interested in peace.
I don't know if either of them are.
I don't think they either. No. I mean, someone's got to lose. So, I mean, that's just how wars don't end because, I mean, they do. There's one specifically.
I think I'm thinking of the same one.
Yeah, there's a 30-mile DMZ between.
Well, okay, so there's that one, but there's also one that again, it ended in a way that a certain guy didn't like, where instead of fighting out to the end, well, that would be the First World War, where it's like, okay, well, we didn't fight it out the way I wanted it to.
Well, First World War, Germany quit.
That's what I'm saying.
So someone's got to quit. Yeah.
Right,
so,
right. And it wasn't because the fucking world collapsed in on them and they're at their last man.
No, it's because the German people themselves said, fuck this.
Right.
Yeah, and they started rioting.
Right.
So, yeah. So maybe, but wars either come to a negotiated truce, there's one that has happened like that in the last 100 years, or one side quits. So Iran quit Iraq, so theoretically we won Iraq. We quit Afghanistan, so they won that. All right. So, Iraq quit when we kicked shit out of them in 48 hours in 1991. Yes. So Panama quit, Grenada quit, Vietnam, we quit. We quit? Yeah. So Afghanistan, the Russians quit.
Let's see, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, they all
quit against Israel. Yeah.
Correct.
So someone's got to quit. All right. And I don't see any quit going on either side right now. So Ukraine's already, the whole thing today was like, well, if they pull Starlink, they're like, fuck it, we'll figure it out. We're going to keep fighting. So, and they say, well, we're not giving any more U.S. intelligence. And France was like, hey, we got the same shit. You can have it. So there's not a whole lot of quit going on anywhere. And so I think Donald Trump's going to walk away from this empty-handed. So
I think there's going to be like a ceasefire.
I don't think so, man, but I hope you're right. I really do. I just don't see why they would actually do a ceasefire, I don't think the Russians would agree to that.
Well, let me put it to you
So
this way. All right, so
I don't. Yeah,
well,
I
take a
don't
look
think
at.
the Ukrainians would agree to that either.
Well, no, let me put it to you this way. Okay, so let's take some people that by all logic should be going at each other nonstop right now, and that would be Israel and Hamas, right? But they are at sort of a ceasefire, right?
Yeah,
My question to you: do you feel confident that those tensions are not going to blow up again?
absolutely not.
I feel that with this, in a very similar way, I think that they will have a ceasefire.
Yeah,
I think that they will have some talks, and I think that they will find a reason to go at each other
I'd
again.
be really surprised if the Ukrainians would sit down at the table with the Russians. I think the Russians are going to have to beat it out of them. So, and they're not. That's just the thing. I mean,
Well, because ultimately, here's the thing: is if you get them to agree to come to the table, and I think that they will. I think they will have a table meeting, right? But I do not think that they will agree to terms, and that's going to be the problem here.
yeah.
Is the U.S. is going to have to say like, "Well, fuck you then."
Well, I think we already did that. I think we did that last week. So I think the whole thing was kind of like, all right, well, fuck it. And now, like, there's a whole bunch of guys in Europe who are like, oh, wait a minute, we can actually cover this and do this and that and that and this and stuff. And they're already talking about like Germany's having like a $2 trillion fucking euro fund to rebuild their military. Poland's already like, fuck
Poland's
it,
like,
we don't need.
yeah,
I mean, did you see the tweet from the guy the other day? It was fantastic where he said, we don't need to ask 300 million Americans to defend 700 million Europeans from 150 million Russians who can't beat 30 million Ukrainians in 3 years. And it was like, you're right, you could march on Moscow if you really wanted to. And they fucking might. I mean, we might be on the edge of like World War One Part Two, which isn't World War Two, it's different. So,
right.
yeah. This is like World War 1.5, it might be there, but quite honestly, the Russians just aren't strong enough. They're not strong enough unless they start slinging nukes, and they're not going to do that because they're going to catch them in return. They know that. So, I mean, it's just everybody just needs to chill the fuck out. And I don't think
That's a fine solution. I
it's a
agree with
fine
you,
solution, but the problem is those two sides are too fucking mad at each other. Nobody's gonna chill out, man. This big dog's got its jaws on little dog, and it's not gonna kill little dog, but little dog's gonna tear up big dog, and someone's got to stick their hand in there. And Donald Trump tried last week, and he said, "Fuck that." So I think we're legit done, man. I think NATO's like on its last legs, and I thought that would never happen. Yeah,
I think it's done too.
I think it's cooked, man.
Well,
So
here's the thing: is
I think it's a matter of time before Europe realizes that and they say, "Well, fuck that. We don't need NATO, so we can make our own. We can
well,
make our own no homers club."
yeah. If everything like when it comes down to it, this particular conflict express this is the whole thing is this particular conflict exposed the weakness of NATO.
Well, the weakness was always with us, though. I mean, it was like, how much do we need it?
Well,
And
yeah,
it's come around to the point in time where, like, well, actually, we don't because. So here's the thing that's really interesting about this is like we didn't know this 3 years ago.
right,
Okay, because Russia had like the number two military in the world. It
yep,
had brand new fucking tanks. It had fancy new planes, all kinds of shit. And then we didn't realize that it was all fucking garbage.
right,
That it
right.
can't fucking move more than 30 kilometers into basically a third world country over the last 3 goddamn years. And then suddenly we realized it's like, well, wait a minute. Those guys, they're not going to roll on Paris. What the?
Yeah.
So wait a minute. Why are we sending all this money over there? I mean,
Was it under the same token? Wasn't at the time? Wasn't Desert Shield? Wasn't that advertised as like the third biggest army on the planet at the time?
Iraq,
Third or
Iraq
fourth, yeah,
was like third or fourth big.
yeah,
We wrecked it in 3 days.
exactly.
So yeah, and I mean, but then like we go through two other wars since then, where like legit they were bad calls. So
And it's just
and then
independent dudes.
it's independent dudes hiding in caves and
Yep.
shit like that. We can't fight that very well. We never have been able to. But if you're actually going to stand up an army against us, we're going to crush it. So now we realize that the army that we were all eyeballing, you know, is garbage. It is hot fucking garbage.
it kind
Okay,
of for me that also takes a lot of the gem out of the donut of the Chinese donut.
I am
It
not
makes
worried
me
about it at all. I'm not worried, and I think they realize that too, and they're going to play it cool. I'm not worried about that. I think the chances of World War III have gone down by about 80% just in the last week. So, now if Europe wants to have a generalized regional war, they all can find out that their armies are equally useless.
go ahead.
Not our problem. So, and it's come down to that where it's like just starting to realize that, the days where dudes on the map actually don't matter, because there just ain't enough of them anywhere.
It's weird. It's funny because if you look at it into a historical perspective, you're like, we have more people on this planet than ever,
Right.
but where are the dudes on the map?
Yeah. Right. They're busy.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like before where you have like entire generations of young men who are bored, like, I mean, now you have way more older men, who have jobs.
They do. They
So,
do. And,
you
and
know,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just, you're not like, it would be fine to be killed by a crossbow.
Well, and see, that's the other thing that you have to think about is like, I mean, just kitting out a guy now is ridiculously expensive. I mean, Russia has to pay to get recruits. I
Yeah.
saw this the other day. This was ridiculous. All right, how much they get paid? It's something to the tune of like they get a 40,000 an equivalent $40,000 bonus up front, and then on top of that, there's like another 30 or 40 behind that. Okay, that comes from a specific region. That's in US dollars, okay? Equivalency, where the average Russian makes like $800 a month.
Oh, and
So if you turn this around and actually do it in US dollars, this is me giving you a $300,000 bonus to join the army.
right.
Here in the United States, you get $40,000 maybe if you're smart, okay? So,
Free
and that's
housing.
for a 4-year commitment,
Yes.
and really when it comes down to it, I mean, the fact that it's like, okay, so Russia's full of people who are unemployed. Well, not so much. I mean, you can find a job, all right, so pretty easily in Russia. Whether or not you want one is a different thing,
Right.
okay? But like here in the United States, I mean, the army hasn't met its recruiting target in like 20 years. So since 9/11, okay, it was up a little bit last year because it got some of the stupid commercials on
Well, actually, yeah, it's actually been up recently.
it. I know it's been up recently, but it's not.
It's not.
It's like 4 steps back and 1 step forward.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no.
So it's bananas. The world is crazy, man. And quite honestly, I'm not worried about near as much as I was 3 weeks ago. So I'm
and
not even. No, it's fine. It'll be fine.
dude, it's not even a question of worry. I mean, so there's always that global escalation of like, will this be the thing that tips off the nukes? But you're like, but the truth is, like, we lived through the '80s. It
Yeah,
didn't happen. We
didn't
lived
have.
through
We
the
lived,
'90s.
we lived through the '70s when it was really scary. So I mean,
I mean, yeah, shit, your dad and my dad were like, well, this is it.
yep, yeah. We live here because we get hit by missiles first. So,
It was seen as an inevitability, which is one of the
yeah.
the thing where they say like the doomsday clock has never been closer. I'm like, how?
How? It's got
How?
yeah. If that thing didn't tick back over the last week, it's obviously garbage.
Yeah, no,
So
this is all
yeah,
just alarmist shit. It's like after the '70s were over, you guys should have like grabbed that second hand or that minute hand
yeah.
and just like thrown it and just like it's like wherever it lands, it
It
lands.
lands. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they ain't no way
yeah.
because they're like, no, it's only like 1 second to
One
midnight. I'm
second
like,
to midnight.
bullshit,
Yeah. So,
bullshit.
yeah.
Like you're telling me that my dad fucking put all those bombs on the bombers that said these are going to Russia,
Yeah.
and they're turning around at the last minute. I'm like, that wasn't closer.
Yeah. No, it's that is complete hogwash, man. And there's a lot of agitation. That's because there's a lot of Europeans out there suddenly starting to realize it's like, oh shit, Americans might not come and help us out. And we're like, yeah, you and your socialized medicine can go fuck yourselves.
That's
Yeah,
the funny part is like, so imagine for a moment the things that you can pay for when one country pays for all of
all
your
of your
military.
defense, all 32 of you motherfuckers. So and I mean to be fair, like I saw this breakdown on like the EU as a combined army almost doubles the size of the U.S. Army. Okay, it has like
For guys
for
or
dudes, just
for dudes?
dudes.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
just
yeah.
for dude. These are active duty dudes. So these aren't even like reservists.
Okay,
And so if you count reservists, they way out. They're like 6 million man army. Okay, because they got several countries, most of them next to the neighbors.
sure, sure.
So who all have the conscription based systems. Okay, like Finland alone, that thing coming into NATO basically doubled the amount of manpower because everybody in Finland is trained how to use a rifle.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah, same thing
Oh,
as like Switzerland, which isn't part of the EU, but Poland's doing the same fucking thing now, and
yeah.
Poland's like buying every last Korean tank that comes off the line in Seoul. So yeah, just ship it right over. We're gonna put it right to. We're gonna get our guys working up on it tomorrow.
Matter of fact, we'll do you one better. Just we have the Allen wrenches. You don't need to send those.
No,
Just send
we
the
got it.
parts and
Just
the
send the parts.
instruction, and
Actually, they did that. The Koreans are building a tank factory in Warsaw. So there you go.
there you go. There you go.
So I feel good about it. So anyway,
Well, again, this is the stuff where did you want a president? Again, this goes to my Obama argument. Was I thought Obama
right.
was going to roto-rooter the fucking system,
Nope.
right? The system roto-rootered him in the first week. It said, "Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
You
sorry.
you thought it was our buttholes that were going to go ahead and get dislodged?" It's like, no, sir. Bend
Sit
on
on this
over.
chair.
So for those of us who said, as a Bernie Sanders booster, I'm like, wow, this guy actually sounds like he'd shake up the system. The system said, you're not welcome here. You get Hillary, right? But I don't want Hillary. I've had Hillarys before, right? So this time around,
A
they said,
couple now.
yeah, yeah. Do you want somebody that's really going to, sock puppet the system? You're getting it.
You're
And there are
totally
certain
getting it.
things where it's like, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know how the tariffs thing is going to work out. But
I've got a take on that. We'll have to talk about next time.
to me, at least, like this seems like it's the fact that China came out and they said 100% tariffs on Canada too. Like this is the stuff that makes me say, all right, we've had agreements for a long time.
Yeah.
Things are going to change. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but it's enough to make
It's
people
going to
rethink.
change. It's going to change. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad either. I do feel better about the war piece though. So
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's
Anyway, yeah.
we can talk
Sorry.
about tariffs
Yeah.
next time.
Tariffs next time. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm Pat.
I'm Jeffrey.
Hitting the button.
Yes.